Hello, everyone.
Carol's here.
Ginger's here with a. We'll go into that. We'll go into that in a minute. We'll go into that in a minute because what it's come down to, mate. It's our club, our colours, our fans, our family. Forget the manager. Forget the players for now. Forget the performances. It's more about our lads. And yep, me and Frankie have just come back from the game. We're going to give it a couple of minutes for people joining in who are getting home late from the game. But first of all, Ginger Carol, I want you to first speak about why you look like that and the charity you want to promote. That's the first thing. So yeah, go ahead with that while me and Frankie recollect what we want to talk about. But yeah, you're doing obviously something for charity. So here's your platform, my man. Yeah, take it away, and we'll promote it officially from tomorrow. I'll add it into the clips and things like that. But you go ahead with it, mate. Yeah, what you doing and that kind of thing.
I'm actually missing my stick and my little bowler hat. It's my Charlie Chaplin look. So basically,
when you sent me the photo, I thought I have to look at it twice. Like, hang on a minute.
A lot of people think it's the other one, the one that begins with H. You know.
It looks all right. It looks all right, mate. Uncle Hitty, Uncle. Yeah, no. You look all right. Listen, I got to send you my photo. I remember when I did it, and I looked ridiculous. Like I thought I had like a squirrel on my nose.
But here's a little something just before I explain to everyone what it is and what I'm doing.
Yeah, everyone listen to you.
Obviously, my missus works at a salon. She's a hairstylist. She's got her own salon and her own business.
Oh wow.
And she does eyebrow waxing and eyebrow tinting as well. So while I'm doing this in the salon, she's like, "Why don't I just tint your moustache?" I was like, "Do you know what? That would be perfect because it would give it a bit of colour as well instead of being orange."
I can't look at you.
So basically, I'm using November. Obviously, it's well known that Movember is a more recent years prostate or is it mental health, something. It's one of those. I can't remember exactly.
I think it's just for charity. It's just like whatever charity you want, grow it and then give it to the
just basically look like a prick for a month basically. Just to raise money. And I've used this this particular month and to grow a moustache in beautiful memory of Princess Isla.
Oh, great.
So for those who are unaware, her family, mum mainly, have set up the Isla Caton Fund, which is under solvingkidscancer.co.uk. That's
brilliant cause, mate. Yeah.
You can go and find it. You can just search for it, the Isla Caton Fund. And I've set up my own little fundraising page where I can monitor how much I raise. I mean, I've set the bar low because obviously it's unprecedented times at the minute. I know how, and it seems like that every time I do a fundraiser, it's always in an unprecedented time. First, it was the year of COVID in 2020. I shaved all my hair off, and now I'm doing another fundraiser in a very hard financial time for everyone.
No. West Ham fans got big hearts, mate. I mean, Frankie, bloody hell, Frankie done well. All of you bears, hats off to you guys. Incredible, mate, incredible. And I don't want to be political, but it's actually no, I'm not going to go into. I'm going to get into trouble, but yeah, UK got big hearts.
You can't get into any more trouble than the way I look, Jazz.
Listen, we've got listen, small island, big hearts, mate. Don't want to go into it, but yeah, top people. I'm going to put that link in for everyone tomorrow, and so many people joining in the chat already. Frankie, my man, we know the result, we know the performance. I met you. What a great occasion today. Again, meeting people like you and players. But you start, Frankie, and then we'll join in slowly, mate. You go ahead, sir.
I mean, it's very hard for me, mate. Obviously, with the boy being Mascot tonight and having such an amazing time himself. And you know, very hospitable and looked after us, and obviously we had tickets in a very nice lounge and met a lot of old school players and had a good chat with Mad Dog and Monka and Tony Gow, and it was lovely. And you know, to be honest with you, mate, in the old days when we was at Upton Park, that was what West Ham was about to me. And I loved, even when we went through torrid times. And understand one thing, this team that we've got at the moment isn't the worst team we've ever had by far. We've had much worse teams and we've been much poorer in terms of, you know, our performances. But for whatever reason, it's exaggerated so much more now we're not at Upton Park anymore. And it is really, really difficult. You only had to look at the attendance there tonight, mate. And I know it's a tough game in tough times where people can't afford it, but kids for a quid over there tonight, you can get kids tickets for £1. So it's a great opportunity to take your kids to the football without breaking the bank. And I know there's travel involved and everything else, and I fully understand all of that. But you're never going to get cheaper football over there. And the ground was completely empty. People that I was messaging, because I had some hospitality tickets available at really cheap prices, weren't interested. They just said, you know, I can't bring myself to go over there tonight. One bloke messaged me back, who I won't name, but turned around and said, I'd rather be nagged by my missus all night and watch some trash on TV.
Because I think, Ginger, I was going to, I kind of reached out to you. You're not in the UK though, anyway, at the moment. You're not.
Well,
you're back.
I am.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not on mainland.
Oh, you know what I mean. You weren't available to go tonight, were you? You weren't going to.
No.
So,
not at short notice, anyway.
Yeah, no, I get that. So, you know, it's really tough that people just don't want to go over there anymore, mate. And it's because the brand of football we're watching, forget Moyes, forget everything about what's going on at the moment at our football club. And I will get more emotional as the show goes on, but I'm just trying to sum it up without having that full emotion right away and try and be a bit level-headed with it. You know, at the end of the day, the point is that brand of football that we have to watch, that team sheet.
Ain't football, mate. Ain't football. I don't know what
it's
it
not.
is.
But that lineup that come out tonight, mate,
4-5
at the back against a second string Blackburn side is absolutely atrocious, mate. You should not be fearing a team like Blackburn, and you know that's not what football's about for me. To go out there just to try and not lose against a championship side, a good championship side. Big respect to Blackburn. Blackburn turned up there tonight. There was always going to be, and do you know what about it, mate? Right, all these people that were getting excited that we was winning in Europe, and we went 8 wins out of 8 or 6 wins out of 6, whatever it is. I don't care what it is because it's a tin pot tournament anyway. But all those people that were getting excited, I said to everyone, Blackburn will be a more live team tonight than any of those people we faced in that Conference League. There will be a tougher opponent, and it'll be a much, much harder game. And it's exactly how it transpired, mate. We really struggled. There was such poor. I mean, we was giving the ball away. Our shooting was atrocious. We're so defensive and negative. We let them come on to us, and within minutes, they've scored the first goal, carved us open like you couldn't believe. It was such bad tactics and a bad setup from the very, very start from David Moyes. It's not what I knew West Ham were, mate. And I don't know. Yeah, that's me summing it up how it started, mate.
But see, you mentioned that, like we said, like if the team, as often as it does, starts in the wrong way, no energy, lethargic, you've just come out the dressing room. So what kind of motivation and message have you come out with? And I keep saying it's repetitive, it's boring, non-motivational. We're humans, not bloody robots. And again, I know Frankie touches the motivational bit Stuart Pearce could do in the training ground. We met Martin Allen, and then you mentioned it, I think, as soon as he left our table, Jazz, we could do with him. And I said the same thing to Kevin Keane, and he said, bang on, mate. I said, Kevin, we need you. We need Robson, Mark Robson. You are the blood of the club. And the more of you around the ground, the more we need you. Not just in the boxes saying hello. We want you actually working for the club like Keeney does, Mark Robson does. Because they're so proud. They go, oh, Jazz, did you watch Europa, the little boy? I said, and obviously, and I did tell them my views and Moyes, but I told them I don't want any of you to reply. Well, let me bark on for a minute. And they, yeah, more or less were like understanding what I was saying and think Martin Allen, like, what a coach. Imagine the motivation from, he's mad, you know.
Well, he had us eating out the palm of his hands from the minute one. What a character he is, mate. He's
Do you?
such a
Yeah,
brilliant
yeah, yeah. Do you want to listen to him before going to battle? Do you want to listen to Warburton
do.
Bread or something like that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
It
absolutely.
is. It's nothing. And you were right. 5 minutes, 4 minutes. You lose a go early. And I've seen football a lot, mate. And it's just a case of. I mean, this just something. That's the program. And my daughter's like, "Oh, did he play?" So that's our front cover for the program, everyone. And that's just a club all over. Before we go into it, Ginge, go ahead, sir. What you saw, what you feel at the moment, mate, and that kind of thing. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, mate, I just don't understand how negative we are setting up. I sort of reiterate what Frankie said a minute ago. At home to Blackburn, but not just Blackburn, a second string Blackburn side that really we should not be fearing. We should not be setting up so negative, and we should be going hammer and tong, especially after the poor performances in the Premier League. This was an opportunity for Moyes to say, do you know what? I'm still here. I'm still fighting. I'm still showing I want this. And for me, just that formation and lineup alone showed me that he's got no bottle. How can you set up so negative? 5 at the back. It was almost like a 5-3-1-1 at home to Blackburn. I mean, our second string team is still decent enough on paper, but I don't think the instructions are there for us to go out and attack.
I think you've got 3 attacking players at the 11. Connor Coventry is kind of in the middle. The rest, Downsy, Emerson, Kufal, Johnson, Agard, Ogban, Areola. Wow, that is like, whoa, mate. You know, you got a couple of grannies in there pushing a shopping trolley. Then you're on the edge, mate. And these managers, Frankie, they do not get the DNA of the club. And Moyes, he's done the hard work. He's got the foundation. He had the respect of the players about, I don't know, 9, 10, and then he's just given it all away. Got cocky, got over big-headed. I don't know what it is with these guys. And he's just like, he got, like, I know Frankie, overconfident, wasn't it, Frankie? 10 months ago, like, I am the dog. Anything I do turns to gold, and fuck you lot. I'm like, matey, the secret is listen to the comment. Listen, I'm not saying we're Liverpool, no way, mate, but listen to and just listen in the past what's worked, and it's kind of motivational, treating everyone with respect, which I don't know if he does, but treat the people not in the team. That I think shows you true character of a manager. Things like that, things people used to say like, yeah, always judge your boyfriend the way he speaks to the waiter and things like that. So people who get injured see how you and I think he made a couple of them cry last year. Didn't even talk to them. I don't care who brought them in. And he's only knows one tactic, one way of playing, and oh mate, he just can't get through to the guy. And a lot of people here, like, can't make it. It's expensive. We've done it. I mean, it's just like, what the hell? No entertainment. And me and Frankie are all right because we've had a good chat, good laugh, good food, good drink. And that's the memories I keep telling you. These memories. And I knew before going to the game, it's really bad. I'm being honest. I knew on the pitch, I'm not going to be jumping on my street doing that. And I ain't doing nothing happening, mate. 1-0 down. Got a very messy goal, which I think my ground could have put that one away. It's like ping pong, and it just went in. Antonio was a kind of okay goal. But go back to Antonio's record, going back, year and a bit, December. It's awful. Oh, mate, it's just nothing to be excited about. And it's just... And I don't know if Frankie told me, Kretinsky, he was in the crowd, mate, apparently. He was there today. Which is like, whoa, what are you doing here for a game like that, mate? All right. So I don't know, mate. But,
I don't know if you've seen, lads, and we can't read too much into this, and I need to check that it's 100% the truth, because we saw it. It come out from Football London on Twitter, but it came out that Moyes didn't attend the press conference after the game. Warburton attended. So read into that what you will. Either Moyes has bottled going to the press conference, or he felt he needed to go into the dressing room and sort them all out after what has just happened. Who knows what the reason is for him not attending that? But all of the signs at the moment, mate, him having to go at the fans saying, oh, you're all experts, blah, blah, blah. Well, I know one person who definitely is an expert, David Moyes, because he's never won anything in his career. So he definitely ain't no expert. But to ever go at us fans like that is disgusting. And the second you start to go against the fans, this is the beginning of the end. To not attend a press conference again is just very poor form. Just all round is screaming of the big warning signs that the end is nigh, mate. And sooner rather than later, if you ask me.
I think it's. I'll bring you in, Ginger, in a minute. I think it's nearly finished. Like you say, look at that lineup. Oh my God, what are you want? Are you gonna tell them to sit back for 80 minutes like we told you do, and then you? And the thing is, Ginger, you know, like people you say, oh, we make it up on the channel. Antonio himself said it on the podcast, didn't he? There was a podcast out there, and he goes, oh shit, I'm not sure if I should have told you that. He goes, we're told to just keep it tight at a maximum. Don't let in more than one goal, and after 80 minutes, then let's win the game. I'm like. But you do that when we've had two okay seasons, 6th, 7th. And why are you playing with, and someone said that his record against top 6, top 7, is it no wins in 70 games? 60, I don't know, mate. Whatever it is. Just weird, mate.
It just shows that better performances of late were against the top, the so-called big 6 sides. Granted, we never got anything from them, but they've been our better performances. And we come up against a lower opposition and we just crumble. We just don't want it. We go toe-to-toe with the bigger clubs and get nothing out of it. And we could go even more than toe-to-toe with the lesser clubs to go and get something out of it. And we don't. And we sit back. We sit back and play them like as if they're the top 6 side.
But you see what I've noticed? Like, I threw my toys out the pram at Chelsea and I've given up. Frankie is calm, and Ginge, you usually lose it. You're calm. It means we're used to this now.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, Ginge would have been like effing W's and S. We're beyond that, aren't we, mate? We're beyond that now.
Mate, I was very privileged tonight. The boys been Mascot. I was able to park underneath the stadium where the players park. Got to see all of that. The boys been really well looked after. I've gone down in the lift, straight into my car, driven home within 40 minutes. It's not the end of the world. Believe me, mate, if I was on a train tonight and done my normal journey into that thing, the boy wasn't Mascot, I would be on it absolutely screaming, mate. It's for me, this evening has been watered down by the evening that I've had and meeting you and everything else. It's been nice. But mate, that performance was absolutely disgusting. And it's the worrying thing about it all is, mate, we've said it time and time again, against Silkeborg, the league, that league was already won in the Conference League, right? I said to everyone, we've got kids going over there tonight. All I want to see is attacking football. I don't care if the game's 4-4. I just want to see us go out there and attack and just show what we're made of and give the best.
That's a great comment. Play the kids. That's a great comment.
Yeah, I know that, mate. But do you know what? I'm glad he didn't, because if he did play all the kids, he'd have an excuse. I'm glad he didn't, because now he hasn't got an excuse, because he played people that should be able to go and beat Blackburn, mate. But at the end of the day, do you know what else, mate? This is also a problem. When you start alienating players throughout the normal games, like you're sitting Antonio on the bench all the time because Skamaka's come in, sitting 4 hours out, you sit Benrahma out and Benrahma's on the bench again tonight and everything else. When you call upon them to step up and play a match for you, why would they be motivated? Why would they come out there and give their everything? They're looking at it thinking, well, you don't trust me for the proper games. You're leaving me out 24/7. You're ruining my career. Why would I come out here now and play for you, mate? So I know they're on the payroll, and I know we'd all say, they should come out and give a performance. Of course they should. But I don't half blame them, mate, sometimes. At the end of the day, at the moment, I think it's very clear that there's a lot of unhappy players there. I think Moyes has completely lost some of them. And really and truly, mate, people are not enjoying their football at West Ham right now. And the only way that's going to change, mate, is if he kindly... Thank you very much, Mr. Moyes. It's been a great couple of seasons of you stabilising our football club, but enough's enough. You've lost. And I've said it to everyone tonight, mate, right? And I was saying it time and time again. Everyone thought I was mad and everyone thought it was crazy. He was one loss away from having the worst managerial record in West Ham's history. He brings in 5 first-team football coaches that are international level. All of a sudden, we start to perform. As soon as all them first team football coaches start disappearing. He's lost Irvine, he's lost Pearce. They're all disappearing. Moyes can't win a game again and looks like he's completely clueless. This isn't a coincidence. Moyes was never good from the start. He brought in really good people around him, which some people said to me, isn't that his job to build a great coaching staff around it? Okay, fair enough. He brought in the right people, really top level coaches, and that sorted us out and made us a good team. They've all disappeared, and now we're absolutely abysmal again. That isn't a coincidence. Moyes on his own is clueless, mate, and that is what we're facing ourselves with right now.
Oh, bloody
Yeah,
Ginge, take over, mate. I've got a few things going on. Go ahead, mate. Yeah.
I agree very much, Frankie. It's like having an engine and one bit breaks down from the engine and then another bit breaks down from the engine, and all of a sudden that engine is no good anymore. It was easy to see from early this season. There was telltale signs. I mean, some would argue even the back end of last.
From December when you started going. We lost to Southampton, Leeds.
Did I say this season? I mean this year. From the start of this year, yeah. I mean, some would even say from the back end of last year. I think me and you, Jazz, alluded to it in February, I think, sort of March sort of time, where we only
you and me were at that Norwich game, and how long did we take to break them down? We had no striker, Bowen Kettle, wasting chart, and I'm like, what is going on here against the worst team? Like,
we had no identity, and
no striker.
Leeds as well, even in the cup. I think Watford was our first game that we went together, Jazz, that we had actually won.
Yeah, and they were obviously on the ropes, and
we still didn't play well.
No, that Dennis looked like half decent. He's whatever's going on for it. I mean,
so he's not looked right for a good year, Moyes. And
what was that Diaz goal like? Because obviously I was at the Grammy in Frankie.
If you watch it, so the balls come over to the far corner to the right hand side from where we were sitting. He brings it down, he cuts inside. There's Ben Johnson on him. Ben Johnson struggles to close him down. Aguerd then goes to close him down as well. Aguerd shows him the goal. God knows what Aguerd is doing, mate, because Aguerd's only got to stand in front of him and he blocks the shot. But Aguerd sort of turned his body and sort of just shown him the goal.
Go on, here you go.
And he's just put it into the far corner. Job done. Terrible, terrible defending, mate. And, I don't want to single people out tonight because I don't think that is, I don't think that's the right thing to do. But Aguerd for me for that goal. Ben Johnson sort of done half of his job. Yeah, he could have probably got to him and tried to put in a tackle. But once Aguerd comes over, Aguerd has got to block the goal, and he doesn't. He shows him the far corner, and the bloke goes, "Thank you very much. I'll put that over in that top corner, mate. Job done." So
he's physical. When I looked at Diaz, as you saw, Frankie, you can spot him on the pitch. He's very big. I know he's got long hair. Plays in midfield, 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3. 13 million, Ginge, same as Emerson, mate. Same as Mopay, mate. Who would you want?
Mate, we said this in January, though, Jazz, when we was doing the transfer shows, and he was one of the players that I brought up, and it was something that we needed. Why we didn't go for him then, I don't know. Maybe Moyes was trying to hold out till the summer. If he was, why didn't we just go?
Moyes doesn't do anything, does he? Like, imagine his wife downstairs. Love, shall I give you scrambled egg or toast? I don't know. I'll let you know. Mate.
I'll have a post one. It's more defensive.
No, I don't know. I'll let you know. Do that. I mean, Ginger, answer this one and ask Frankie. I think as a second highest shareholder, you still got a say in it, mate. You got
mate.
No.
The investment's coming heavily from Kretinsky at the minute. He's just increased his stake in the football club. Anyone who thinks that only Sullivan will be able to make a decision on this managerial situation at the moment is wrong. He has a bigger say than everybody realises right now. And believe me, anyone who thinks that Moyes' job is safe because Sullivan won't buy somebody out of their contract or won't be able to get the right manager in, Kretinsky will not suffer this because he's put in a lot of money and he will not see his investment go down the pan. It's too much money to risk. And if there's even in the slightest risk that our Premier League status is at jeopardy, he will just go, enough's enough, and he will force Sullivan to make a decision. I really believe that Moyes' time is numbered, mate. I think that especially with the World Cup, with a World Cup in front of us, it's like having another pre-season. They can bring in a manager who can have time with the players that are back and are not on international duty. He can drill them. He can get them used to the system that he wants to play. And it's a brilliant opportunity for a new manager to come in and spend some time with the players that are not on international duty. So,
and the other thing is, I believe, is this the last home game before the World Cup starts?
Yeah, this weekend will be.
Then we should have had our full 11 in today. Rice, all of them in there today, and Tony Skamaka both up front. Take them off halftime. Job done.
Yeah,
because Alex Fergie.
You've got to get the job done early. You've got to get the job done early. I mean, I know it's only the Carabao Cup, and we've got bigger things to worry about, i.e., potentially staying in the league if we carry on like this, because I think we're going to be banging trouble. The Mickey Mouse Conference, European League, but if we can go on, I think that's our best shot at winning something this year, and that this year is paid. Well, even the back end of last season, it papered over the cracks.
Listen, I even comment, Scott, I hope you're doing well, mate. Thanks for joining. Listen, who the hell is Moyes in now? I know one guy, I'm not going to mention his name because he's in, I know there's one guy out there that we know amongst the media, but everyone else is just, it's weird, mate, like what's going on and things like that.
Mate, anyone who still thinks that Moyes is right to be at West Ham, they must just be on the wind up. Like, they must be, because you can't sit here and think. It's like I said to you, mate, it's not about where we are in the league. It's not about the results. It is just the poor football, the boring and dull and awful brand of football that we play. Just all round at the moment, it is just atrocious, mate. It's the most uninterested I've ever been in a West Ham side in a very long time, mate. It's awful.
Yeah.
I am just busy. Listen, again, I'm honest, and I'm going to tell you, I don't do this normally. I was pissing about on my phone, posting videos, chatting to my mad little guy today I took to the game and other things. And I'm like, that's not the way it should be. I'm usually, listen, and I'm honest again, the first couple of years, Moyes, like we beat Liverpool 3-2. My video's out there. I think I fell near the turns, like in the hall. You know, when you get in a little gap, jumping up and down, grabbing people. I don't know. When that Mascot goal went in, Ginge, I was like, whoa, I took 2-3 people with me, banged their heads together. But listen, this, you know, when they call it limbs, or whatever this new word they say, arms and limbs, I was like, what the hell happened, mate? And I'm like, they don't get the DNA. And I keep saying,
but where's that all euphoria gone? Where is that feeling gone? Where is that vibe gone? It's just like we've gone from up here down to here with no middle ground. We've just gone from the extreme high to the extreme low.
So what's happened? So
half the problem is, mate. See what you've just said there is half the problem we've got. This extreme high narrative is just flannel, mate. Just because we got to a European semi-final, I know that's a good achievement. I'm not saying it's not a good achievement, but everyone's branded it as success, like we won something, like we was Leicester who went and won the league. Like, at the end of the day, we've seen the level.
We'll talk about this guy in a minute. I'm going to top up, Ron. You two lads carry on. I'll be back in a minute. Yeah.
We've seen the level of what this European football's all about at the moment. Mate, I had an amazing time at Seville at home. It was incredible. But it was just one of those one-off nights where it was so special. The crowd was incredible. We was never going to lose that night. It was one of them West Ham nights where we just don't get beat. We went to Old Trafford away in the Cup, third round, when Bartes put his hand up, Di Canio scored. We was never going to lose that day. There have been some times over the years when you just know West Ham are not going to get beat. That was one of those times.
Like last day at Upton Park.
Last day at Upton Park. Lyon was one of the ones where it came a little bit against that grain. I wasn't convinced we was going to beat Lyon, and we started so poorly. The first 20 minutes in that game, we weren't particularly good, and Lyon were knocking on the door, and I thought they was going to score. And then Dawson does that smash and grab header, which puts us in front. And then Rice has the shot that gets deflected to put us 2-0 up before half time, and the rest is history. Mate, that was one of the best away days that I've ever had as a West Ham fan. It was incredible. But everything else around that at that time, something wasn't right. Something was falling off. And in the league, we were terrible. We were awful results. Everything was going off the rails elsewhere other than that European competition. And then we've got that European competition this year papering over the cracks against two Bob teams. Let's be honest, mate, at the end of the day, against Silkeborg, we at home, we had to cheat. Antonio dives to get a penalty, complete and utter dives, gets a penalty, and that's the only way we could beat Silkeborg at home. Tonight was almost a carbon copy of that Silkeborg game. We played 5 at the back, same system, absolutely awful, but Blackburn had more than Silkeborg did, and they go and beat us. Antonio at the weekend trying to cheat our way into beating Crystal Palace. It's not the West Ham I know, mate, and at the end of the day, it's all... There's so many things going on behind the scenes, and there's so many grumbles, and there's so many weird things happening. Like this Warburton, Stuart Pearce leaving for a start was strange. Warburton coming in, who wasn't really a Moyes choice. Moyes chose his coaches. He chose Irvine, he chose Nevin, he chose Pearce. This was Moyes' builder. All of a sudden, Pearce is out the door. Warburton comes in, which wasn't Moyes' choice. He's been told that he's got to work with Warburton. I can't even understand what Warburton's role is, mate, because I don't actually see what he's actually doing at the club, other than taking the press conference tonight for some reason, which I've got no idea why he's doing that either.
I've never heard him speak, so that'd be interesting.
It's really, really weird all round. There's some really odd things going on behind the scenes for a club that was supposed to be in such a good place with such a good squad mentality, doing well in Europe, getting to a semi-final, all of this stuff. Things were going on that just didn't sit right with me, and we've been calling it for a little while. The league form went completely downhill to a point that I don't know what the stat is. Is it 5 wins or 6 wins in the last 19? I mean, that is absolutely
It's the goal scored. Goal scored is nothing. It's the lowest. Everything's crap. Nolan, I don't know what's happened to him.
And that, do you know what? This is one thing really that gets me. It's so dangerous to have this sort of mentality. Dabs has just put in the comments there, unlucky, should have and could have won isn't good enough, unfortunately, right? I've heard well too much of that recently. All of this, we deserved it. We deserve something out of the match. We deserve more. I've heard all this crap. Ben Johnson come out tonight in his post-match interview and said, unfortunately, we're not getting the good fortune that we was getting last season.
Oh, man.
Good fortune. At the end of the day, if you need good fortune to win a football match, you deserve to lose.
Well,
that is a terrible mentality to have, that you need luck to win a football match.
It happened quickly, but I think the first goal he was involved in the first goal they scored, and he's been all over the place. And listen, West Ham online. Listen, no one else. You two don't say nothing. I know him. He's done a lot of work for me, and but he does that deliberately to get. I mean, he's got thousands of followers and went on Instagram. That's not my style. And I kept telling you, and Ginger knows me. Frankie, these Moyes out videos were never to get attention or sub or make money. It was how I felt. And all of you out there were having a go at me, Frankie, saying you are like, even I had messages I'm not going to mention any names, very, very big people that know us, and saying Jazz and I had a chat. I said, no, mate, that's not like, and they're all saying what we did. I'm not attention seeking. I don't need it. I've got a lot of things going on outside West Ham, a lot of things like that. But just being honest out there, West Ham, I mean, I know him, and he's like, listen, that's just his style. He's all right lad, but it's up to him what he wants to do. You get a lot of flack that way. It's up to flack. I don't give a shit. I don't get much anyway on Twitter. I know Frankie, my little lad. Frank, how was Twitter tonight? Just tell me a little bit. What was it like? I don't know. Frankie loves it out there on the battlefield.
It's shocking, mate. It's really, really shocking. I did a poll though to say, look, regardless of the Moyes out situation, I said at the end of the day, let's ask a different question. I said, rather than Moyes out, was you happy with the lineup when you saw we were playing 5 at the back at home versus a championship team? 91% of people have said no. 9% of people have said yes. And I think that's the point. People are now not agreeing with Moyes' approach. They're not agreeing with what he's doing with the football club. They don't agree with his subs. They don't agree with his lineups, they don't agree with his formation. So regardless whether you're Moyes in or Moyes out, over 90% of the fans are now, and I know it's a small sample, but there's still a few hundred people that have gone into that poll. People are just not agreeing with what he's doing, mate. They don't agree with the approach. But there are some people who are still defending him, saying that he deserves the full season. The biggest problem about giving him a full season is that do not for 1 second believe that he can't get you relegated, because he can, and the form suggests that he can. So it's a big problem.
2 points above Southampton, and I believe they've sacked their manager, gentlemen, haven't they? I believe.
Yeah.
And I think he's a better manager than Moyes, but that's me.
No, you're right, mate. You're right.
But
Leicester, apparently Leicester are wired. I've seen some tweets from Leicester fans saying that because Moyes lost tonight, they're going to play a David Moyes can't lose super team. Apparently Moyes has this rebound luck that it's impossible for him to lose. So Leicester are worried about that it's impossible for them to beat us on.
Where was this rebound superstar team when we lost at the start of the season?
I know, mate, I know.
See, the good thing is when you've got a channel and Frankie and everyone, it's there on record. And I'll say, watch it. And everyone's like, Jazz, I said, pre-season, there's something wrong here, mate. It is drab. Pre-season was bad. No excitement. I said, they go, no, they're just getting fit. I said, no, there's something up there. It's really like, whoa. You can't, there's something going on, mate. There's something going on.
Here's a big question for you, chaps, and it's something that I've actually heard some people going on the turn a little bit with this, and a lot of people are obviously putting a lot of blame on Moyes, and rightly so. Other people are starting to suggest that while they still blame Moyes, and Moyes is still a big part of why we're, the downturn in form, a lot of people are saying maybe those world-class players that we signed for £180 million, maybe some of them ain't quite as good as everybody first thought. Do you think there's any truth in that maybe Scamacca's not as world-class as we thought it was? Paqueta's not £50 million worth. Aguerd isn't quite as good. Kerrer isn't quite. People were putting Kerrer as like he was going to be hammer of the year, like he was the greatest defender since sliced bread. How do you feel about the new signings at this stage?
Kinch, go ahead, mate, and I'll join in.
Well, I'm going to be completely honest with you. They wasn't really big standout names to me to start with, and I don't like going on YouTube to have a look at these new players because YouTube only tells one side of the story. It just shows you their best bits. Well, most of the time they do. So I wasn't really convinced anyway. And I
just want to interrupt you without being rude. Paqueta is a regular in the Brazil midfield, and that's a big thing for me.
I get that, but the Brazil team doesn't appeal to me. In the latter years, anyway, I don't really get excited like that. There are a number of players in big teams and big international teams that everyone will know, and he isn't one of them. And then I thought I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. We're buying 8 players, and they were towards the end of the transfer window. They were coming in quite quicker than
too many in one window, Jim. Too many in one window because they're catching up with the 2-3 bad windows.
Do you know what it is? It's been the same for the last 4 windows. We've let go more than what we've brought in. That's the problem.
Only Zuma and Dawson, we can say last 3 windows, okay. And then you're catching up with 9, you're banging 9 in. And Moyes is like, oh, I didn't want that, man. I'm like, Moyes, you would have left with 7 players, mate. It's because of you.
You got to get rid of the 9 players that Pellegrini brought in, or however many it was. And most of them were just dumb transfers that we now have to rectify his problem. Then you've got the Bilic era as well. There were some players from Bilic that we needed to get rid of. There's still some players from...
Listen, I heard Filippo Anderson done something in the Lazio Roma derby, Frankie, didn't he? I mean, he's still alive somewhere. He did something.
Filippo Anderson scored the winner, mate. And they're loving him out there. Anyone who leaves West Ham goes on to be a good player again. I know it's in other leagues, and the Premier League's a tough league to make it in, and I fully understand all that, mate. But there's it's not a coincidence that these big record signings come in and start off well. Scamacca started off brilliant. Scamacca can't get a goal to save his life all of a sudden. It's just the way he's being used and utilised, and dragging him off at half time.
Scamacca's a good player, mate.
It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
Scamacca's a good player, mate. And obviously, I know, again, I'm honest again, I know Moyes wanted Eze ahead of Bernard. I know that. But Sullivan goes 1 in, 1 out. You can't buy him until we get 1 out, which was Anderson. Anderson left the club in that window 3 days before the end. Who's on the shelf? Ben Rama, and they had a love-hate relationship ever since then. We're in the bloody middle of it.
The question has just come in, chaps, because I think I could answer this question over and over and over again and totally shoot it down. can you enlighten me on what short memories we have? Because we're all sitting here saying, you know, last season, while we had a good European run and it was all fun, the Premier League fell off after Christmas, which it did. You know, everyone who says Moyes was our saviour, anyone with half a brain with that squad could have kept West Ham in the Premier League. So I don't feel like we owe him anything. He stabilised the club. Yeah, I'll accept that. You know, has it been a pleasure not to be looking over our shoulders the last couple of seasons and been worrying about relegations? Yes. You know, but these people who say we've got short memories, I tell you what I haven't got is a short memory, because I remember being able to get in the Champions League and bottling it and not making it because we lost our last games and flopped it and ended up in Europa. I remember having to go to Brighton to get a win to get in the Europa League, but lost and ended up in the Conference League. So I remember all these things that this so-called saviour, Moyes, who's like this amazing guy, every time he's needed to do something to take us that bit further, he's lost it, he's bottled it. So
and we were winning against Brighton as well.
Everyone seems to think that just because we're not in relegation battles, that makes Moyes the greatest thing since sliced bread. I'd love to know what I've got a short memory about, because I'm lost.
I, again, thinking through my football knowledge, I am still fuming why we didn't win the Europa. I'm still fuming last year. I think we should have won it, but he didn't buy anyone in January, and then Krezi became the scapegoat, well, for me anyway, twice. No pace, nothing, 1-1, dragged the guy down, sent off. I think we had that tournament done, mate. We Champions League. You're never going to get that close to Champions League in a while. For that's my feeling. And I thought,
agree with you, mate.
You know, if I told you Rangers, Eintracht Frankfurt are between you and the champ, I would like fainted, mate. Hospital, isn't it, Ginge?
Yeah,
and instead of like soft fans saying like, you know, great away days, nights, and I'm hardcore, and I think, nah, mate, you missed the trick there. You could have, and then 2 points from Champions League Chelsea 2 years ago, and again he didn't buy anyone. Like Rice got injured in that year for 4 or 5 games, and we lost. I think Everton won that game out. That was all between us getting the top 4. And he just like sucks the blood out the players, overplays them, SAS training, kills them. Engines burnt, turbos gone. Let's keep running on ball time. And Bowen just like, well, he still runs around, to be fair, but that way's gone, mate. Nothing in there, mate. It's gone.
Needlessly runs around. All right, he might be a workhorse, but he was more direct before. He looked like he knew what he was doing, whereas now, I don't know. It just looks like a different type of player. Maybe because we're playing more defensive now. Maybe because Moyes is instructing them to be more defensive, whereas before they had a little bit more of a free rein and they could go out and attack. Maybe that's it. But I think Bowen's been a different player, and if he thinks he's getting anywhere near that England squad, I'd think again.
But Daniel, seriously, again, respect your opinion. It's all about opinions, but yeah, wicked. I like different opinions, so yeah, welcome to the channel. I don't mind that, you know, long as no one. Even Twitter, and even unfortunately Frankie, I'm hoping he doesn't. Don't get personal with no one. Don't talk about no one's family. Don't swear at anyone. And people sometimes, I mean, all right, but yeah, telling message to everyone, like, you know, I've lost, I think, 2 subscribers, being like, what the hell are you lot on about? You know what I mean? Bloody hell, mate.
Mate, it's never about that, and I'm. Do you know what? I'd love to sit here. That person who just said we got short memories, Daniel. I'd love Daniel to come on and actually talk to me.
But that's how I met Frankie, because of Moyes. That's how I got to know Frankie.
Yeah,
you know, we've got on the channel, had a laugh, and I understood his arguments. Then he kind of understood my arguments, and then away we go. But what you do, you debate. But in debate, you don't get personal. You don't swear at anyone, effing. You don't do that, and that's. Because we're all one. Listen, we got enough enemies as West Ham fans. I keep saying we should be one kind of family. You know, we always have arguments in the family, don't you? Like your mum and dad. It all pisses everyone off. It doesn't make you not going to talk to them again. And that's what I mean. Just keep it respectable. And that's all it's about.
I know that feeling. I'm the ginger. I'm the only ginger one in the family, mate. So I know about that one.
Listen, mate. Yeah,
Daniel's put in a 2-part reply. It's quite interesting. We'll break it.
Let me get someone. Listen, everyone around me, Pochi, baby, Pochi. You know we love Pochi.
But do you think you say that, Jazz? Yeah. Do you think
but there's opinions again. Yeah, go for it, Jim. Yeah, it's opinions
again. Do you think that
we're
appealing enough to get someone like Poch?
I think if someone told me and Frankie that Mourinho and Conte, and we would have like spat in our food out like, what? Shut up, mate. We're Daniel Levy, like like little tiny little kid like that, running a corner shop. But nothing's impossible. You can sign any player, any manager. It's all about money at the moment.
Do you think do you think if we get a new manager now, someone like Poch, they're gonna give him all the money again in January, even though January's not really
Kretinsky's got bigger heart than little Sully. And I think it's most of,
even though they've spent out 180 million,
because we're 2 points from relegation, and Kretinsky, obviously he didn't buy all those shares to be number 2. He wants to take over at some point, and his asset will be going down a bit. And we've seen what's happening in the economy, but I think he's safe because he's got a lot of money, but he's from his wife's side. He's inheriting a lot more with respect. It's all personal family problems, but and he don't want to buy. And the thing with Sullivan being clever, he's fixed in some kind of price that you option to say yes or no and that kind of thing. And yeah, it is quite complicated. But I mean, Liverpool is up for sale, and Frankie, it's the Indians and Barney, mate, Reliance, and because he's moved into Stoke Poges Golf Club. Not far from me, which was shown in Goldfinger in that film. Gerard got married next to it, and apparently in Barney's, I tried 3 times. He filthy loaded, mate. Got most of the contracts in India. I don't know, mate. A lot of Indians are tight with their money up there. Like, he's a good. You're right, Indian, like my missus. I hope she ain't watching, but. Mr. It could be bullshit, but apparently he's up there with a. Who's got cash at the moment? A bit of cheap, couple of Chinese, few India. Russians are busy doing other things. Americans are just dollars. Like China's like, we don't accept dollars. It's going down. It's like, listen, mate, all over the place. But Blackburn, look, hope you're doing well, mate. Yeah, you can't judge it one game, but yeah, listen. What I liked about it, Frankie's teams, including Europe, they don't sit back anymore. They do not sit back, mate. Long time ago, in it, Ginger, 5-6 teams that sat back.
Yeah.
No, mate, they go for it. And 5 minutes scoring a goal proves it.
That's the problem for us at the moment. It is the brand of football. That's my biggest problem with anything. It's not where we are. If we were playing good attacking football and your fault results had come, you'd tolerate the dip in form. You'd think it would get better. At the moment, there's no signs it's going to get any better, and the brand of football is disgusting. Here's Daniel's reply. I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, best. I think since December it kind of went downhill. We lost to Brighton. We lost so many games, and Man United finished 1 or 2 points above that. We couldn't get into Europa. We awful, Daniel. That league form was awful, and kind of what it is with you. I understand as well. Europe paper, put over the cracks of what was going on in the league, and it's up to you, mate. Sure, your views, mate. But I just think the longer it goes on, the value of the players goes down, the motivation. Ricey, people like that. Bowen's probably lost his England space. I mean, I don't know if it's up to his fault or the managers and things like that. Krez has got another year, and I mean, is that the way the club in the right direction should be doing? Or, I mean, he's definitely keeping around the club, mate. He's a good lad. He's very popular.
I definitely think that he's got to the 8-year mark and thought he's so close. Let's give him a testimonial. So let's give him another year extension, and then with a further year on top of that. As soon as they get to that,
I think Frankie said something really good as a second choice. Excellent. FA Cup, EPL, lower qualification, Europa. Great.
But it depends on the game.
Not your face. No, but you're facing Liverpool, Man United. He's going to get done, mate. Unless Fornells does.
So you've got dog as work manager, for him. As a coach, you've got to manage the game, each individual game. You can't just go out and think, right, this is my best squad. Let's go and play my best squad. You've got to think about the opposition. Who is my best 11 to play against the 11 that I'm going to play against? Because not every team that you're going to play against are going to be the same. And that's where Moyes fails to set up properly.
Right, going back to this question. Yeah, going back to this question. If he messes about with Scamacca, no striker will join West Ham. I'm telling you straight up. This is the 4th, 5th, 6th time, especially record signings going back to Dupe, Filippo Anderson, Hala. All top signings flopping, all strikers flopping. Antonio probably be 45, still playing for us, holding the ball up. it's not good. You know, you're getting your reputation there. You know who the bloody hell want to play for you. You know, if you're going to do that kind of thing.
Can I just ask you a question about strikers? Can you boys remember the last striker that we brought in that was decent?
Dean Ashton, I think.
That's what I mean. That was 2001.
No, I'm going to go against that. I'm going to go for the man who scored 10 goals in the Champions League faster than anybody else ever in the Champions League, and that's Haller. I think Haller is a decent striker, mate. You know, he goes away and he scores unbelievable amounts of goals. I just don't think we used him right. I stood there at Watford away behind the goal when he done.
I remember that. I was like,
and he looked fantastic.
Whoa.
And then we ruined him. And the second he goes and scores. He scored 10 goals faster in the Champions League than Haaland. That's so he is a striker and he is a good striker. We just didn't use him.
Just didn't utilise him. Yeah,
and that's the problem.
Go on.
And I said this to Jazz as well. We bought him from a team that played a system where he had two players in and around him, one either side, or the understanding that he had with the other two players around him, they interchanged a lot. They worked together a lot. And then he's come to West Ham in the Premier League, which is going to be tougher anyway, but he's playing up on his own with no one within 20, 30 yards of him when the ball's up to him.
I think if you could do 4-2-3-1, you can easily do 4-3-3. But Frankie, you're in the middle of something, mate. Go ahead, mate.
No, what I was going to say with Daniel's reply there, mate, let's focus on the Conference League and win it. If you believe that David Moyes has got the character to win a competition, see, when you win competitions, right, it's because you go out there and win football matches. I've felt like we've had chances to win trophies before, and unfortunately we've come up short. That season with Ashton, Liverpool in the final, I really believed we had a chance of winning that, because on our day I felt like we could beat anybody. At the moment, I don't feel like we can just not beat. I don't feel like we can beat anyone, let alone anybody. And to win trophies, you have to go out there and win football matches. Moyes at the moment only sets up not to lose. He just prays we don't lose, and that's how he sets up. We have got zero hope in hell of winning a Conference League under David Moyes, anything under David Moyes. He's never won anything in his managerial career, and he never will win anything in his managerial career. So forget winning the Conference League, because it's not going to happen.
I'll tell you what, right? My memory of West Ham 1983 January beat Spurs for a Cotti header. So that's me, and I've seen we won the Evening Standard 5-a-side in '84. You two won't know that. You're too young for that. That's it. So I'm 1983 January fan. Nothing, and then you guys obviously follow in ages and experience after that, and it just like hits a wall, isn't it? You've like, how long can you take it, and without being again. I can't help it. You know what I'm like. So on the train back, loads of Arsenal fans and a couple of them Asian, whatever. I'm like, and they click. I'm like, yeah. Where the hell were you last? And even the guy came lucky. Like, I won't mention what team he supports, but he's like, oh, my brother's Arsenal, and I haven't heard from him in 3 years, and he's coming in the room and we at West Ham is regular loyal, mate. But then that's why I hate Liverpool, Arsenal's. Spurs. Remember my mate Sudley, Ginge, when they in the chat started buying those when they were playing at Wembley, you get the free matches. All of them used to go for the mate. Never spoke football after that, and I'm like, so you got clubs like that out there, which is artificial, not really loyal. You know, I got nothing against Newcastle, Villa, or City, the old fans, and they were right, mate. Loyal with us, hardcore, got the luck and everything. But I think the end is here now, and they're not going to wait end of the season. No, I can't.
You know, the only thing the only reason he might survive, and even if we lose on Saturday, the only reason he might survive until after, and until the new year is one, because we don't normally go quick enough for this sort of thing anyway, but also because they know Noble's coming in as the director of football or whatever his role is in the new year. They may want to see what happens when Noble comes into the club. That's what worries me. I need to see him gone now, but it scares me that they will want to see what happens when Noble comes back. That is my only worry, mate.
Right, Frankie, you got to answer this question, because they're going to love this question.
Players coming in. Don't
Who's buying them then? Who's buying them then?
But this is the problem, isn't it, Jazz? This is what used to drive me insane. We was told time and time again, Moyes is in control of the club. Moyes was in control of all of the signings. Moyes this, Moyes that. I said to everybody, none of these players who come in were Moyes signings. These were all driven by the board. It was nothing to do with Moyes whatsoever. But people were telling you Moyes is in charge. But then what happens is, and this is how mad these Moyes loyal fans were, if a player worked out, oh, that was a Moyes signing. Anytime a player didn't work out, oh, that's not a Moyes signing. And then they even changed their mind on Souček. Souček, when he was really good, that was a Moyes signing, weren't it? Then Souček all of a sudden goes in a bad run. I thought, oh, it weren't a Moyes signing, was it? Well, make your bloody minds up. Who's signing who? It just drives me insane how people make things up as they go along. One thing that we are on this channel is absolute talk straight as a die and stick to our words and stick to our guns. You know, I'm happy to be proven wrong. You know, I said, and on my channel, before Jazz started this channel, I said the only one guarantee in football is if Moyes has a full season with a Premier League football club, he'll get them relegated. Well, I ate my words because he went and gave us 2 good seasons. So, you know, I was proved wrong. And I'm happy to be proven wrong if it's in the best interest of West Ham. I hope Moyes goes and beats Leicester. Noble comes in the new year. Moyes goes and wins the Conference League, and I go and get a tattoo of Moyes' face in the middle of my forehead and go, how good was David Moyes? He's won me a trophy in my lifetime. He's the greatest manager in the world. I hope that happens. But it's not going to, because Moyes ain't got it to win anything in his life. So that's how it is. You know, it is just really frustrating how these people flip-flap all the time from one opinion to another.
You talk about loyal fans, right? It's nearly 1 at night, and there's nearly 200 people listening to this. That's West Ham. That's West Ham. You know, and we're not talking about winning the European Cup. How are we going to get a ticket? We're talking about the dire situation. This is West Ham. Ginge, a lot of people mentioning Frank at Brentford. What do you think about him, mate? I haven't spoken about him in any of my videos. What do you think about? I don't know. What do you think?
I watched him in the year that he got promoted with Brentford. Sorry, even the year before that when they just missed out. And I thought he's built a very, very good team there. And I thought they were very unlucky not to come up the year before they actually got promoted. And then they were back in it the following year and they got promoted. And I thought, do you know what? Brentford could be one of these teams, newly promoted teams that go on and do.
They beat us every game, mate, anyway. But
they do, yeah. And they've proved year after year how strong they are, how good they are, and he's got them well organised. He's got them well drilled, and I like that Thomas Frank. I think he's all right.
Mr. Moyes,
just come up with a classic, but we'll
yeah. Let's have a look quickly. Carl, I think the squad he got is enough. Listen, money's been spent. It's up to him who he brings in, and we look worse than last year. We look worse after 180 million. We look worse. I'm like, whoa, mate, what's going on? Cornet's clever. He's like, I ain't coming out for this, mate. Cornet's like, you just sent me a message for him, like, let's go out for a bottle of whiskey tomorrow, mate. He's like, nah, only joking. But Cornet's like, yeah, he don't want to know it, mate. Yeah, I mean, he's trying to speak that funny, but I don't know. You all went wrong, didn't he, mate? John wanted Potter. Keep an eye on Chelsea. Are not up and down a little bit at the moment. Let's keep an eye on that. Let's keep an eye on that. Oh, have him, Grant, mate. That was like, whoa. Yeah, drab football, defensive, Philip. 2022, it's going down and down and down. I'm not confident. Same style. Actually, one style, mate. Only one style.
I mean, a lot of people had you believe that Warburton was brought in to be the next manager in line. If that happens, mate, then I give up altogether. If that...
Right, you deserve it then, don't you? I know those guys. They're good. I mean, listen, Anton and Stel, they're good laugh, but you naughty boy, listen to us. But listen, I got nothing against those guys, and they're fine. They're funny. Once what happened, me and Frankie did the show, we hit fucking 4K on the show. Like, I go, Ross, what's that? He goes, I just wanted to see what's happening with you guys. No, they're all right. Listen, I'll say it the way it is. And Courtney McAvenny.
No, I'm seeing a lot of people commenting about getting old favourites or old legends. I mean, I don't like to throw that word around.
Well, but Ginge, this is your question again. I'm against. what is that Anton and Ross on about? Like, are they back it? No, this is definitely to get subs, you naughty boys.
It's got to be.
It has to be you.
Ask Timothy, mate. He's the one who's just watched them. Timothy, what were they saying? What is the main points? Give us some bullet points of what they were banging on about and why they think David Moyes is still the main man and everything's all rosy right now.
And Tim, a double
and do
rum
you
and
think
coke,
they're being
Tim.
legit?
Get me a coke.
Or do you think they're actually saying it just to get a reaction?
No, they're not, mate. There's this really soft mentality in the world these days that everything's all. These are the points that people are making out there. It's a transitional season. He's got new players they need to bed in. What a load of rubbish! It's the style of football that's atrocious.
Yeah.
We've got the whole, we're going through this new season. Blah blah blah. It will turn around. Blah blah. Okay.
No, this comment. Listen, we want good football. I want good football above winning anything. I want good. I want.
But that's again what somebody else said the other day. Somebody else said the other day when I said that a semi-final wasn't success. They said, of course it is. They said that's the best you can expect as being a West Ham fan. You're not going to win trophies because teams are too good. Man City win all the domestic trophies. You can't win a domestic trophy. You're not going to win a trophy in Europe. So the best we can hope for as West Ham fans is getting to European semi-final. That is our success. That's what they call success. I said, you're mad. I said, our people actually these days feel. I said, my dad, I can't wait when my son grows up and I go, I was there when we got to European semi-final and we lost the tie in the first 5 minutes and blah, blah, blah. My dad used to tell me about European Cup Winners' Cups, about FA Cup wins, about Bobby Moore. He used to tell me about all of this. What have I got? A European semi-final? That's not success, mate. If that's the measure of the best you can hope for from following West Ham and spending all the money we do and putting all the time and effort we do into it, we might as well just give up, mate. Just stop watching football altogether if that's what it is. I do what I do with West Ham for the small glimmer of hope that one day we win a trophy. That's why I do it. And that is the ultimate, is to just try and win something. I just don't understand them, mate.
Listen, my dad, obviously, Bobby Moore, and then 76, Eintracht Frankfurt. He goes, Jazz, first colour final we saw on a little TV. 81 semi-final. And if Dad's watching from like whatever, he got done for something with the Coppers that night when we beat Coventry in the semi-finals League Cup to do with the football. So over-celebrated something and we got into the final. Yeah, 80, 81, 82. But what it is, Brooke Bonds, I'm born in 74, you're 73, we're same kind of age. The number one thing is play good football, tackle well, put your foot in. And when you watch all the 70s, 80s videos from play, and I was speaking to, I think it was one of the players today, and I told him, I said, listen, I used to think in my mind that, like Kevin Keane, I said, listen, I watched your videos, Keane 89, 90 and all that, scoring from the corner flag nearly. Football was very fast in the old traditional West Ham way. From the kickoff, what they do, they launch it into the goalkeeper. Then your number 10, he smashes the shit out the goalkeeper, and that's all and fans are like, whoa! So that's your first start, yeah. Then you're focused, and then your wing fullbacks, Ray Stewart, they're playing like wing backs. It's near cross, far post, near post, one-touch football, bang, bang, bang. And this is a squad of 14 who are going to play 65 games a season. And the football's like end-to-end, one touch and move, touch and move. This is West Ham. What we're doing now, oh, my God, it's like the grannies come out with a cup of coffee, sideways, back. And then by then, I'm like, I'm just like, you all right, mate? Where are you from?
Mate, do you know what? That's starting to really wind fans up. It all started Fulham at home. People started screaming while we're not passing the ball forward fast enough. Tonight in the stands, people were screaming at people to pass the ball forward more quickly. People are getting really, really fed up. Before, we was all just a little bit disillusioned with it. Now people are starting to get quite angry and people are screaming on the sides to play the ball forward more quickly. I've told everyone to watch that bunch of amateurs on YouTube following Dorking Wanderers who have had 12 promotions in 23 years, now in the Football League. Their manager this week on the episode turned around and said, their first season ever in the National League, first season being professionals. He said, we've scored more than anyone else. We've conceded more than anyone else. Long may it continue. Rock and roll football. That's why people come to watch us. We're not boring United. He said, and we're not here to win. We're here to just give the best account of ourselves that we can. If I felt West Ham had gone out there tonight, given the best account of themselves, tried to actually play football and actually given everything on the pitch, and we got beat, I would turn around and say, fair play. And I wouldn't have a problem. But I don't think we're giving the best account of ourselves. I don't think we're playing the best football that we can with the team that we got. And I don't think we're leaving it all out there on the pitch. And that's why I've got a problem right now.
I think that's the same for most West Ham fans. We would rather see 11 players on the pitch wear their heart on the sleeve and leave it all on the pitch. And go.
Jin, tell me how did you watch
one goal?
Yeah,
and play like a bunch of
But Ginge, tell me, you watched the game because how many fans were left in the ground after the penalties, and which players clapped the fans off?
Mate, I can't even tell you how many, but you just start seeing them flood out. It was you ever seen the program Take Me Out, where when someone gets their light switched off, like, pew, 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 pew. That was what it was like for West Ham fans. As soon as that final whistle hit and it was penalties, everyone just upped and left.
Any players clap the fans?
I'm not gonna say about that, but interesting. There was a real weird thing that went on tonight, and
the first thought.
I'm not going to say it on here. But
the first thought was, is it a boycott? And then I thought, why wait until the 90th minute? Why wait?
Oh, you're saying they all left before the penalties? Oh,
yeah.
after the equaliser, because I was Frankie. I was just outside that German pub, just on the, I don't know what you call it, the open space before you start walking towards the station, and then the girl behind me goes, "Yeah, I think they've scored," and I'm like, I didn't know who scored. I know there's a goal. I couldn't really clearly tell, and I'm like, oh my god. And then, but did anyone? The players just went down the tunnel and all that kind of thing, or
I don't know, because it was penalties. Everyone was just like walking around and just huddling and getting a drink. We couldn't really tell much.
I'll tell you before we carry on, thanks to Frankie, Ginge, pie and mash in the lounge. Very nice, mate. It's very nice.
Yeah.
And I was telling him, I wish I could freeze 3 of them and put them in the freezer, and I like every day, next 3 days, and very comfortable.
Did you have the liquor?
You had a drizzle, didn't you?
No. I got to be again. I can't.
Gravy boy.
No, I can't lie. Again, I got to be.
You've got to try it properly.
No, I'll tell you the whole truth now, and you can kill me. I went there, and she asked me. She goes, "What do you want?" And I'm like, "I'll have liquor to act bad." I'm all right. I'll try and right. Don't. So I said I'll have liquor, and then and I go, "I have to, otherwise they're going to kill me, aren't they?" And she goes, "No, you can have the mix of the two." I said, I looked around, Frankie went there, and I said, "Yeah, what?" I don't know what she done. She goes, "Yeah, we do the mix of the two." And then Frankie seen it, he goes, "What the fuck you doing?"
This comment here, though, Jazz. See this? Who will we bring in? That's another nonsense comment. No, sorry, not Daniel. As in, this is you're saying that there isn't a manager out there. What I'm saying is, it's a bad comment that people feel like it's the old days where you have to have a manager that's out of a job to bring in a manager. Look at what Villa have just gone and done. You don't have to be a manager.
Hey, he was in our video. He was in that video fucking so 6 weeks ago.
Look what Chelsea just went and done. You don't have to have a manager that's not in a job to sign a manager anymore. If you see a manager out that you want, go and sign them, pay out their clause, and go and bring them in. It don't have to be a manager that's not attached to a club anymore. That's old days. That's finished.
It is. I mean, listen, I don't care if you can't get him. You go through your list and you go down. I think Emery was second, third, Poch. I just think don't want to go into too much detail because I know he was a Spurs and it's a very sensitive situation, but I think he's 50 or just under, and academy, and it's just that when Moyes, I don't see him putting his arm around anyone, and like I love that in players, like when you like, you know, when you just like go on, son, young, go and do that, and someone, it's just all fake with Moyes, like, you know, he just like bending around like, what are you doing? You just took him off after what are you doing, man? Ben Ron was like,
A most creative player.
and that video's gone viral. He's like, it's gonna be me. He's like, it's gonna be me. He's fucking.
You can see him standing there watching Moyes talk to Lanzini, and he just sits there and shakes his head because he knows it's him. And he's waiting there.
And if I was him this morning, yeah, I know.
And he was one of our influence. All right, he wasn't great, but he was one of our better players going forward.
This is the other comment that's being made a lot at the moment. I know I'm jumping ahead of the comments here, but the other thing a lot of people are saying is it's not just Moyes.
Mate, it's going mad. It's like, whoa.
It's the players as well. That's what a lot of people are saying. Listen, I run a business. I manage staff. Even when I didn't run a business, I was manager in businesses. I manage staff. The buck stops with me. I am 100% responsible for everything that goes on within my team, their performance, every minute detail. I am responsible. Moyes is responsible for their players' performances, for their mental well-being, for everything. The buck stops with the manager. He is accountable for everything.
Absolutely bang on. And they're told not to attack Peter, and a player told you, and Tony's been on the podcast. You can't say we're making it up. They're told to. Ben Rama had a lot of tricks up his sleeve from Brentford when he have a look at his. I know it's a different league. Have a look at his. As soon as he came, he did that. Excited the crowd. All right, he lost it, but it's a West Ham, and then Moyes goes, "Don't you dare do that again." And we know that. We know that. We've watched football, and you've seen it more than once. He just cut the why buy Paquette for 53 million. Fucking hell, mate. It's a lot of money. Why buy him? And then he's running. Gingy's running down the wing trying to win the ball back. That's all us. No one gives him the ball. He doesn't even find the ball. And then the one thing I didn't spot, which I know one guy did on the channel, which was fair. I think, Frankie, last league, Paquette was pretty poor, you think? He wasn't, I mean...
It's hard, isn't it? Paquette, I'm not sure he's being utilised correctly. I'm not sure he's... But again, the point is, a lot of people saying, wait for the players to gel. I think we're already going past that. All I can see is frustration. I can see anger. I can see people getting disillusioned with the tactics and how they're being played. Scamacca looks so frustrated. Scamacca looks like Hilaire Mark II.
Listen, if the mafia turn up on the boat, I'm out the ground, mate. You know what I mean?
It does look that way, mate. And I'm telling you, there won't be no gelling when these players go, ta-da, I'm off in January. They can't gel if they piss off in January for a fraction of what we paid for them.
Daniel,
I don't think they can gel anyway, because the more disheartening performances, the way we're going, more and more players, even when the likes of Paqueta and Cornet come back, they're going to think, what the fuck has happened to this team?
I mean, Daniel, we're speaking about managers not in the job, mate. Yeah. Like Daniel, Poch's not even a job. We're not talking about managers that actually want to come or you can't grab and don't want to. But this board, I mean, you two could correct me. I don't think they've ever had a manager they had to pay for. I could be wrong. I think they've all been out of a job.
Yeah, no, they have.
I think so.
Mate, we're terrible at bringing in the right manager. We are awful at it. I'm not saying we're not, because we pick the worst managers ever.
That's the thing, Smeagol. I mean, God bless you. Thanks for watching. I mean, it's like both of you. I mean, Moyes is like shakes his hand at his. I mean, you've told what do you want him to do? Like defend? And you can't. How long are you going to defend for? I mean, George Graham, bless him. He's gone, mate. You can't beat George Graham 1-0, 1-0, 1-0 Arsenal when he won the league. Those times, like, you're going to make me laugh here. Like, I'm Ginger, I don't know. Me, Frankie, play Fantasy Football League, and we know there's no clean sheets in Fantasy Football League anymore, Frankie. You know that. It's by wing backs, assists, Trippier, those players. Like Trippier's proving me wrong. Amazingly, probably going to be. Actually, does anyone know anything about the England squad today? Did it come? Oh, tomorrow, isn't it? Tomorrow. England squad tomorrow, isn't it? Southgate.
Yeah, everyone's saying, "Oh, I can't wait for England to have a bit of a break from West Ham," and they're going to watch the Moyes clone in a waistcoat. That's going to.
Southgate is Moyes' little boy, mate. He's Moyes' little.
And he's had the same sort of run as well. When he first came into England, he'd done well for his first couple of tournaments. And I think he's showing his true colours.
Again, mate, this is what we're saying the same with Moyes. He done well, but because he got to a semi-final and a final. Mate, he bottled a final he should have won. No, but he didn't overachieve. That final was there to win. Doing well was winning that game. He lost
I'm on about before that, when we got to the semi-final before that as well.
Yeah, but again, what was that?
I believe Lyon Sevilla were better than Frankfurt and Rangers, mate. They were better, and we beat them. And because you didn't buy anyone in January, and you didn't learn, you don't buy no one till you lose. So Rice gets injured. You don't buy someone again. Creswell, any normal left back like Emerson, he might have got us through that game really. And listen, Brooke Bonds, there's only one dictator on this show, and that's one in the middle of the screen. Yeah, so there's only one, the original, and through my podcast and knowledge, he died in the 60s in Argentina, mate. There you go, Mister. Only me and
through my knowledge, he's still alive in Argentina.
What, the Rip Man? Bilic. Oh, Bilic was a lovable rogue. He gave me one of the both of you gave us one of the best seasons we're ever going to see. Anyone who's there like on that first away Highbury and Bilic. I thought we were going to win the FA Cup that year until the goal got disallowed and United fucking always, why we always draw Man United? Why we always got Man United doing our head in? But Bilic, God bless him. Yeah, he gave us a nice season. Paye and people like that. Kaya, what you doing? Bilic's
when it Bilic era that we last played Blackburn as well.
See, Bilic understood the West Ham DNA at the end. I don't know what happened. I don't know. I don't know what happened to Bilic. Bit of a meltdown. I mean, yeah, Dixie next to him. I don't know. Frankie, I don't know what happened with Bilic at the end, mate, but he was pretty dire.
I'll tell you what happened with Bilic, mate. He had all his old mates around him. He had a 79-year-old fitness coach who looked like he was about to pass out when he ran on the football pitch. He had an ex-hockey, whatever it was, involved in hockey somehow around him. He ended up just giving jobs to his mates that basically were his downfall in the end, mate. That was his biggest problem. He employed the wrong men around him.
Why does everyone do that to me? Every time I'm having a drink, someone always says something funny.
I had a drink last. I can't spit it out. What's going on? Anyone? Ginger Diaz. He looked half decent for you, mate, out there. Wherever you saw of him, quite good. I thought he was all right.
Yeah. I think he's exactly what we've seen of him in the last 18 months. Especially when it comes to like that we were.
I'm back in a minute. Yeah, 1 minute. I think it's David. I think David Moyes is there. 1 minute.
I've always liked Diaz. I don't know how you think of it, Frank, but I think he's an half decent player, and I think he would have been someone that would have fitted into our squad. Whether he was a number one starter or not is a different story. But either way, I think he would have fit in. Whether he played deeper, whether he came on as an impact sub, whether he started into the squad, I think he would have done all right for us.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, mate, I've gone past a little bit of if we were a normal football club with a normal football manager, I would turn around and say we should have signed him for something a bit different. At the end of the day, when you've got Antonio and you've got Scamacca, you've got two players that are very much target men. Yeah. Diaz is a little bit more, sits a bit deeper, a little bit comes from deep, like he did tonight, mate. Picked up the ball out wide, cut inside and whipped the ball across goal. He's a bit more of a poacher. So he would have been a great player to have that's different from our other two strikers who, if you need to play two up front, he can mix it up with one of the other two. For me, it makes sense. But Moyes doesn't use a squad. And this again was the problem. When we said, Moyes is going to have a better squad this year. Well, he's still only going to pick his favourites and stick with them because that's what David Moyes does. It doesn't matter how big a squad you got. In fact, having a squad actually gives Moyes more trouble than it actually does him good because he gets confused. He don't know what to do. He don't know who to pick. It actually becomes a mess for him. So, yeah, with the Diaz thing, I don't know, mate. I don't really love bringing players up from the chat. Benrahma's come up. He's done well. Bowen's come up. He's been our biggest success from the lower leagues. We brought Cresswell up from the lower leagues as well. And I will call him Moyesy. I make a point of calling him Moyesy as much as I can at the moment because I know he don't like it. So, and the way Moyesy reacted to that, that person doing interview, disgusting. Just becoming a bully. Where Moyes' arrogance and Moyes' bullying attitude has come from. Semi-final against Frankfurt, mate, he was kicking ball boys around. Why he's doing that, I don't really know. What a mug, you think, like, just to behave like that. And then he's having a go at journalists for asking him questions and calling Moyes. He's lost the plot, mate. Why do we end up with these managers who absolutely lose the plot? Avram Grant lost the plot. Glenn Roeder lost the plot. Now we've got this guy losing the plot. Allardyce lost the plot. I don't know how we end up with these people, mate. It's just so
it's like they think they've got a God-given right. It's like they think they've earned something, and it's like, actually, you haven't. You haven't earned nothing. You've done nothing.
And this is, again, what you've just said is bang on. People feel like we owe Moyes a favour. I'll tell you one thing. We gave Moyes a job when he couldn't get another job in world football. We gave him that twice. And we've actually increased his stock to a level that he hasn't had in the last decade. You know, and it was only when he was at Everton that he had this sort of status within football. We've done more for him, or... I'll take that back. We've done as much for him as what he's done for us. We owe him no favours. Simple as that. And if we need to move on as a football club because, you know, he's gone just away with the fairies a little bit, then so be it, mate. We don't owe him nothing. People make out like we can't sack him because, you know, he saved our football club. He didn't save West Ham. West Ham would have been here regardless of David Moyes. I don't care who, if any other manager would have come in, whether we survived in the Premiership, which I think we would have done anyway, or whether we got relegated, West Ham would still be here, mate. At the end of the day, he didn't save nothing. And, you know, it's time for him to go.
I'm not that one a little bit more. I think we were in trouble though, Frank. I think we
were. I know we were in trouble. I know we was going through bad times. With that squad of players that we had, anyone with half a brain should have been able to keep him in the Premier League. What I'm saying is, even if he didn't, we've been relegated before, we would have bounced back again. We've got such an incredible support that we're always financially massive when we're down there. We always have massive crowds compared to everybody else, and we've always managed to bounce back. So I have every faith in the world that we would have bounced back. He didn't save West Ham United. At the end of the day, mate, we would have still been here. We're an incredible football club, and we ain't going nowhere and never will do. So I don't know, mate. For me, I just don't see how we owe him this massive favour everyone makes out we owe him. It's just, I don't know.
But the thing on the back of that is, like, he doesn't realise that he's never going to get a bigger club than us next job. I can't see it. And why has he done whatever he's done? It's kind of was okay before December, and then it's all given it, and he's stubborn, and I don't know what's happened. And it's a mental thing, or it's the age, like, you know, the video done with the Rafa. Rafa's 4 or 5 years ago, I would have died for Rafa. No problem. 5 years ago. General Rafa, never wrong. Got more than one tactic in him. Respect the fat Spanish way, whatever. People take the piss. I thought it was like, yeah, all right. I wanted Martin O'Neill before having, I wanted him badly. And people like that manage differently. They go, Martin O'Neill, the players go, we never see him Monday to Thursday. Pops in Friday in the dress, and we die for him. What he said. So it's interesting how everyone manages differently, isn't it? Like Harry didn't know what to do on the training ground. He had an army of 10 people to do the training. Harry, put your arm around you, Harry. How you doing? Yeah, you die for you. Like, and Harry used to love buying. Harry was a board owner's nightmare. He'd always buy 29, 30 foot, you know, the Merson, the Canio, Roddick, Ian Wright, damaged goods. Like, yeah, he didn't give a but. As fans, looking back, we loved Harry because we're buying players fucking all the time. And then when he got the sack, then Terence Brown goes, Harry went actually into the meeting, both of you, to buy more players after wasting the Rio money. And then Terence like, sorry, Harry, no, Harry. No, you're going. You can't. We've spent.
He's done that at every club, though, isn't he? He's always took Nico Crenshaw, Peter Crouch, and Jermaine Defoe with him.
Which man can go West Ham, Tottenham, Southampton? You don't give a shit, man.
Bournemouth. He's been at Bournemouth, yeah.
And then jammy roll, whatever you call it, mate. More money out of that.
The jam roly poly.
Listen, he's a one-off, and but it's doing your homework, Pro. I mean, if someone knew like Ron Greenwood was number 2 at Arsenal when he came in, John Lyle was no one. So there are people out there. It's up to you to do your homework to find out, what's going on.
The problem is, it ain't up to us fans to go and find us a manager either. You know, we're not.
Frankie, question for you, mate, Mr. Brook Bonds.
No, I don't. While I think Kretinsky won't tolerate Moyes for much longer, I don't think we're never that planned, are we, mate? We've never got anyone lined up. We don't have our next left back lined up for Cresswell yet. We didn't have a replacement for Noble lined up. We never plan like that. We're awful as a football club.
Frankie, listen to podcasts of obviously Alan Kirbishley, and do you think there's an option ever to be joint managers? Ever an option for joint managers? Ever?
No.
Very difficult, isn't it?
Yeah. Very difficult. It's even hard work when you've got two ambitious managers and assistant manager. You know, the assistant manager who's nibbling at the feet and wants to, take that step up. Even that becomes tricky. So yeah, it's a tough one, that, mate.
Because what Kirbishley said was, what we used to do is we used to rotate press conferences, so make sure I don't do always the home games because it's unfair. So it's very tricky. And then Kerbs goes, we have to make sure we get our story straight because the chairman's asking you, make sure you're not telling lies and things like that. Anyway, there you go. Backing what Frankie said. Haller scored. It's a crazy amount of goals. I know Ajax is
goals, mate.
I know Ajax.
That was Champions League as well, mate. Champions League ain't no two bob. It's hard to score goals in the Champions League.
You got to develop yourself, Timothy, haven't you? He's always stayed like. I think is he the oldest manager, Ginge, in the Premiership?
Yeah, he is. He is.
Who's that?
He is Moyes.
Moyes, the oldest. Yeah.
Oh,
no, he is. Yeah. I heard someone say it the other day. He is.
Macario's a Swindon. Listen, again, I'm honest. I'm all right with him. Bishop, Morley, Jimmy Quinn, Martin Allen, Ludwig McGlasgow. That's in 4 months, mate, after losing Ince, which he never wanted to lose. And Terry Venables wanted Ince, and Macari's like, get out of it. A very difficult job. And the only thing he did, listen, don't kill me, but we got relegated. We had 3 really bad seasons. And he said, you got to get fit because you're soft. That's all he said. And they're like, I know, mentioned some of my lovable rogues like Jazz, Wardy and they like, no, I want to kill him. I'm like, yeah, I know. Listen, mate, I thought he's like, all right, whatever. Again, it's like Wenger, like Frankie, when Wenger come in, no chips, no. I don't think he said nothing about ketchup. I think Capello was one of the miserable England. I would have told him where to go. He's like, there's a limit to what you do. The thing with Wenger was when everyone found out the French market, he lost the touchdown because he's the only one buying from there. And then when everyone knew, then he kind of like, yeah. Frankie, give us 30 seconds on what it would mean to you for Mourinho coming to West Ham, my man. Listen, I've got no issue with it. Mate.
Don't tease me, mate. Don't tease me. Again, mate, and I know everyone says, oh, how do you know, a new manager would do better than Moyes and everything else, mate. I don't care. I don't care if we get relegated. I just want to show some ambition. I just want to managers like Mourinho, mate, they come in, they're born winners. They only accept winning, that's how they are. And people will say, about Mourinho's time at Man U, he's still been the most successful Man United manager in recent times. The wheels were falling off at Man United and he still managed to make things happen. Mourinho is just a born winner. He's a character. He's a man on the sidelines that you look at and you believe in and you're inspired by and you just get motivated by. Don't tell me anyone looks at David Moyes and gets motivated by him, because you can't.
Listen. Again, I'm going to get myself into trouble. If you're a foreigner, you're not going to understand him anyway, right? What he's saying. First question, Ginge. When we lose and you see players like Kera smiling or 1 or 2 smiling, and it's not for me, Ginge, isn't it? When you lose, you lose. And I'm seeing too many players smiling at the end, my man. At the end.
Because no matter what, they still.
And all that. What's all that? Frankie, all that like that. Oh, come on, mate. It looks so silly. I know, but it's so silly. It looks so silly, doesn't it?
Mate, I've got a lot of time for Declan Rice, fantastic player, but it does stem from me captain, mate. Declan is far too nice. He wants to take everyone's hand. He wants to be mates with everyone. He wants to go up to Mason Mount. He wants to have a laugh with his England teammates. He is far too soft. There are times when bad decisions go against us. I want Rice to be over there screaming. I know he came off the pitch.
I don't want him to be our captain. I don't want him to be our captain. It's not his fault.
He come off that thing, didn't he? And he started moaning at the ref under the tunnel and ended up getting a suspension for it and whatnot. That's just muggy, mate. Do it on the pitch. I want to, like Roy Keane, when you're supposed to wait for the refs before you walk out on the pitch, but Roy Keane just marched out anyway. When the two Real Madrid players were doing up their laces and Roy Keane was supposed to shake their hand, but he just walked straight past them. You want a captain with a bit of ruthlessness. You want him to be a winner, a leader. Yeah, you do. You want someone to be a bit gritty and a bit and someone who can grab hold of people in times that it's not going well and gee them up and all that.
Have a look at Maradona's face. Have a look at Maradona's face when he's lining up England and that, and he's like,
yeah.
Whoa, mate! Whoa, that's going to war, mate.
But that's what it should be like. We should be going when we go on that football pitch, mate. We're going to war. There's no friends. There's no your England teammates. There's no who come back the other day, Fredericks for Fulham, and everyone's like all messing around with him and all that. No, you don't play for us no more, mate. We're going after you after the game when all's said and done, and we beat you. Then we'll have a chat. But until then, we just got to crack on, and we've got to do what we do.
Pally nowadays, isn't it?
Question for both of you from Alan, and then I'll answer it. Decky boy. Well, I don't know, mate. We just can guess. We don't know, really, do we?
No, we don't.
I don't think it will.
No, I don't think so.
No. Even if we had a good season this season, I still didn't think.
Declan has to have European football. Declan's already told you, mate. He wants to win things.
Yeah. And forget your 120 million, 130. I think 65, 70, 70.
Right.
That's about it, mate.
50 to 60, mate, is where it'll be.
Yeah, and then they get Maguire 93 million and Chilwell 75, whatever. Absolutely, Leicester.
And then West Ham will go and buy some nobody for 65 record club signing fee. That's absolutely shocking.
I tell you, we could end up with Calvin Phillips back or something like that off City because he ain't doing nothing there. It's the sort of player you could end up with.
Frankie can answer this, Mr. Mason.
Maybe Man City thought about that for future times and thought, right, we can use Calvin to bargain with him.
The thing is, when you got that much money in football, you can build a great. It's like me and Frankie were talking about, like, if you just made that pint of beer £5, my God, it means nothing financially when you do the calculations. But when you negotiate a player's salary from 150,000 to 140, that is a big, more than what you're trying to like. But you don't think outside of it because you got old people in there from the 1980s, and your kids are not up for it, mate. Frankie's a businessman. I work in finance. We look at it, we're like, oh my God, it's just like a little thing. And another thing, like Frankie might like. If I was Sullivan, I'll walk around every lounge and I want to talk to people. I'm not like, are you all right? Like, what do we, just to get like, what is going on here? Like, are we getting like, and because we got cold chicken burgers, Gingy, cold chicken burgers. And once I was the first one, because that Tottenham game, I was losing it, Frankie, I was losing it. I'm like, why are we just sitting back? I want to kill these lot. 42 minutes, I'm going down. I've had enough. There's nothing happening here. First one to get the chicken burger, stone cold, cheese ain't melting. She goes £9, and she goes, love, do you want onions? And I'm like, all right, if you're offering, yeah, I love onions. But one, the best of it, Frankie knows. But two on there. I went to pay. She goes, £10, love. I go, 9. What? It's because the onions.
You're paying £9, mate. You expect cheese
and all the ketchup, all the mustard bottles are empty from the start. I go, where did you get them from? Funfair fucking down Paddyland or something? I'm gonna get into trouble again. I'm like, what? What? And listen, mate, and Moyes, Allardyce thought he didn't understand the DNA. And I listen again, like Macari. You dropped down in the division. You brought us up. I'll never forget that. I don't know. Frankie, were you at the playoff final? Blackpool?
Yeah, mate.
There you go. Yeah, listen.
I better not say that. I was banned at that time, so I shouldn't have been there. No, I didn't go.
I think you gave your ticket to your friend, if I remember.
That's it. That's the one.
Watched it on the telly with me in the pub, didn't you, Frank?
I went to pick up the program. I really tried to get a ticket back then. I didn't know sort of a lot of people and all that. And then he's like, "Listen, great day." I remember Nosey crying and Carlton Cole and Barnsley Portuguese boys scoring, and we all thought the little Incy's going to do it. You know the way things are, aren't they? Little like Tom Ince, whatever I forgot his name, and
yeah, Tom Ince.
But Allardyce cupping his ear. It's a bit like Moyes is doing, isn't he? Like getting volatile, getting touchy, and it's going down the same way, isn't it?
That is an interesting one. Why Warburton took that press conference, mate. I'm very interested to know what's gone on there.
Do you reckon they're getting ready?
You would do it if you won. You do it if you won. Understand that. If you won, you do it. That's weird. But Frankie, was it you? Who told me Kretinsky was there? There's a guy next to me. He goes, "He's there." Someone told me he's there, and I'm like, "That is the bit that like, what are you doing here on a?"
Is it because he's caused so much conflict with the fans lately, saying certain things like coming out blaming the fans, and he said so much that.
Maybe you're right. Maybe take him away from making any more catastrophes than what he already has. Maybe that is. Yeah. Maybe that is it, mate. Yeah.
You will not turn up unless. And the way I thought about it, like he's young, dynamic. You make your money. You got to be on the ball, aggressive, ambitious, cutthroat. You need all of those traits to make money, right? Sullivan. We know what he did in the 8. I don't want to go through it again and all those mags and I don't want to. You know what's happened. There's something. Listen, we've seen football, mate. He's got to go. He's got to go ages ago. He should have gone after the Chelsea game, but please go in tomorrow because then be ambitious. Spend 5-10 million. Get someone out of a club or some like Poch comes in. I'm Diwali again. You guys come to Samosa. I'm fucking going mad, mate. And being honest again, I love new signings. And when a new manager comes in and I'm a lovable rogue. You put that shirt color pot, I'm gonna go fucking nuts, mate. I'm gonna get that blood running in me again, and I'll be there. And when we play Spurs, oh mate, don't even talk about it. It'll be like, mate. Fucking Braveheart, mate, again. I'm just being honest. That's what you need. We're not Fulham. We're not Sheffield, whatever they are. And actually, Sheffield United, don't even talk about them. But yeah, that's what it's about. We have lost the West Ham aggressive.
Mate, we've lost the West Ham everything. We've lost our stadium. We've lost our badge. We've lost the West Ham way. We've lost the way our fans are. We've lost our atmosphere. We've lost everything, mate. We have. It's such a shame, mate. It's so sad. So sad.
I tell you what, I talk crap. Let me know in the chat. Poch takes over. We play Spurs. We beat. Oh, mate. I'm sleeping on the road, mate, drunk. I'm like, whoa, mate. Can you just imagine that? Like, what he's got to prove to them getting out. I'm just anyone. I mean, Ginge, who do you want in? Come on. Who do you want in? Any couple of names you got there, mate? Any?
If I could pick anyone?
No. Yeah. Because anything in life, Mourinho comes in. I'll be like, whoa, mate, whoa.
Yeah, I think that's one of the top ones. To be fair, because regardless of what you think of Mourinho. I've got nothing against him. His resume doesn't lie. I think I see a stat the other day that he's won a European trophy with 5 different clubs.
Started with Porto, didn't he? Started with Porto and helped Bobby Robson all the way from got a nice house in Kensington.
Inter Milan, and he's won it with United as well. Even though United was shit, I think you were alluding to Mourinho being one of Man United's recent.
I'll tell you one thing though. I think
you Frank said it, wasn't it?
What's that, mate?
About Mourinho being United's most recent successful manager.
Yeah, no, he is by far the most successful manager in recent times since Alex Ferguson.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that he won a European trophy with him then, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing. I know my club. I know Atletico Madrid. Probably put them in my category. Boca Juniors. I put them in that category. if we win something, right? You know, you see those like what's that Liverpool song? We never fucking walk alone, all that bollock. When we win something and a manager does it, whoa, the world will never see what they've seen. I'll tell you that straight out now. City and we win something and they saw a little glimpse in the semi and whoa, Frankie, Ginge, my God. We've got army. You know when you bring your army out that in retirement, like Frankie knows, the little lads and they don't come. Whoa, mate. Whoa, London will not know what's hit them. If we like, it could be any trophy, right? They will not know what West Ham, like that guy I took today. He's not West Ham, and he's like, he couldn't believe it. I go, what are you talking about? It's like, you know, he's like, whoa, what are you talking about? But we win something under a good, I don't think London's seen it, mate. I'm telling you straight up the way as a club, and I'm confident. The backing, we're a huge club, mate, huge club, and this club is in the family. We've not even got fans like, you know, little youngsters like neutral who usually follow who's in the top two. We got none of them. This is all in the family, exclusive. You know, no one's just like walk Stratford, because I know the Stratford Bulls, so I don't go into it, but we are West Ham. And I know, Ginge, you'll be there. Everyone's bloody goldfish will be dancing out the fucking tank, mate, and the room. Frankie, you know it, Frankie. This will be, you know, like World War II. I'm telling you, happened and we won. Whoa! I'm telling you right now, we won that trophy under Mourinho, anyone like that, mate. I ain't going home. Frankie ain't going home. You. And I'm sticking my neck out. I'm not wrong. No club will ever see celebration like that. Any trophy, mate. I'm telling you straight up. Apart from England winning the World Cup or something like that, mate. Yeah.
Just quickly, Jazz, don't mention the World Wars, all right?
No, you're lucky, though. You got close, didn't you? Frankie, I'm right. Frankie, our club is huge. You know it. It's
massive, mate. It's massive. And this is what frustrates me when people go, "Oh, who'd want to come to West Ham?" Everyone want to come to West Ham, mate, because we're massive.
Just because we haven't been as successful in recent decades, the history is there for everyone to see. We've got a massive fan base. A lot of our fans. Well, we are a loyal supporting club, because no one's going to support West Ham for trophies. No one's supporting West Ham for glory. We haven't had glory days for 40 odd years.
Listen, when that Mascot goal went against Chelsea, I think I just ran 15 turnstiles and just grabbed 3 people, smashed them in the head. This is West Ham. I got a habit of this. Like, I didn't know who they were. Like, see, you get to know them slowly. I was like, when we score, once I smash 2 fans' heads together, I'm like, oh shit. You go, Dad, you're bad. I'm like, no, they're all right in the end. They're fine. Used to bring them samosas, and this is where Liverpool. I hate Liverpool, and I ran up. Oh my God!
Do you know what got me that reaction?
Great
goal against Tottenham.
Were you there? I wasn't there. The ground. I was at home.
That got me real bad. I was jumping on people's back like I was doing urban rodeo.
Yeah, that's West Ham. Limbs and knees, whatever they call it, and
I thought I was crowd surfing at one point. I went that far forward.
Right, we've got to go for the comments and call it Chris. Moyes will lose us. No, you can't lose 6 games and keep. I think
Moyes will lose us the next 6 games, even in the World Cup.
Even though Allardyce was, the thing with Allardyce, he looked in control. He's a cool maneuver, it's a bit of a smoothie, and to be fair, I think, you know, like we say West Ham are cursed. I think England are cursed. Because I wanted Brian Clough. I mean, before I was really small as a kid, but when looking back, Brian Clough should have taken over West Ham. They didn't like him because he's a bit mouthy. And then Harry, I thought Harry was right for the England job. And again, they go, who cares if he would have been good for England, isn't it, Frank? I think he would have been all right compared to all the foreigners that we paid millions to and billions. And I think Frankie knows, you know, Ericsson's contract was like, when he got the sack, he was highest paid in the world. And then You pay him till he gets his next job, and then if the next job underpays, then you feel that.
You feel the void, yeah. I know, it's ridiculous.
Fucking hell, mate. Absolutely. And when he looked at it, I mean, Bobby Robson was, listen, I know we wanted John Lyle in there or wrong with, but Bobby took a lot of flack. You can't win against a handball. We got tough in that draw. Poor start tournament. I was only 12. I used to watch it in the 86 World Cup. 90, God, penalties, lost. And got close. Bobby got close. I think 90 World Cup was the one. What is Moyes' issue with? They don't like each other, Governor. They don't like each other, my man. Frankie, big question. It keeps coming up. I find it difficult to answer this one, man.
I don't know, mate. He's going through, like I said, he's going through tough old times at the moment. I don't think we utilise him right. I think we expect him to track back far too often. I actually think a lot of whoever we play wide, which we haven't really got out and out wingers around us, to be honest, but whoever we play wide struggles a little bit because our fullbacks are so poor. I don't think it helps them, mate. I don't think it helps them one little bit. I think they've always got to be cautious. They've always got to be thinking defensively and tracking back, and they can't have the freedom that a winger would normally have. So, yeah, it's a tough one, mate. I would like to see Bowen in a better side, or see when we improve, because we will improve eventually. I think he'll come good eventually, mate.
I mean, I'm not using this as an excuse, but you got to think Bowen's recently. I don't think it's his, but I think Danny Dyer's just had a baby, hasn't she?
Yeah, she did, but I don't think he has. But
no, I don't think.
Right, children are tough.
What, together? Oh,
no, not together. No, but obviously, he's officially and he's with her properly. Do you know what I mean? So he's probably taken on that role as well.
Yeah,
and that's probably that may be affecting him. That may be affecting him mentally.
No. Whose baby is it? Whose baby
is it? His missus has a child from another relationship.
Yeah, so Danny Dyer's ex, this is Danny Dyer's daughter.
Yeah, who's with Bowen, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
but the kid's not Bowen's. Oh,
no, because it was from a previous relationship, and then obviously Bowen got with her just before.
Oh, okay. Oh, gotcha.
Just after. But yeah,
Frankie.
No, that doesn't. No.
I agree with Frankie.
It's tougher than you imagine. I think a lot of Rice's dipping form was Rice had a kid. He had the responsibility of West Ham captaincy at the same time. It's a lot to deal with, mate, especially when you haven't got someone who manages you properly, who's understanding what's going on in home life. How are you? Is there any way I can support you? When you've got an arrogant manager who's just only interested in one thing, very cold, not very, it's tough, mate. It's tough. I think.
Yeah, it does all that. Fucking hell, mate. My cat's ain't going to eat the food you do that. Not interested.
Yeah. So Bowen will come good eventually. We all know what Bowen's weaknesses are. He needs 5 chances to score 1. He isn't he doesn't take his chances very well at all. But he's dangerous. He's pacey. He cuts inside really well. I think Bowen used in the right way, I think would come good again. But this is what we're saying earlier on. Are our players as good as we made out when we brought them in? I don't know. Yet to be seen, mate. But there's no doubt the squad is far better than what we're playing like and what we're doing at the moment. And I think that's why they're frustrated. I think we've got players who believe in themselves. I think Paqueta believes he's a world-class player. I think Scamacca believes he's a world-class player. I think Declan Rice believes he's a world-class player and can win things. If you've got all those players and your manager goes, right, lads, here we go. This is how we're going to line up today against some 2 tin pot outfit from Silkeborg or whether it be Blackburn. Right, we're going to go 5 at the back. Let's look and go, Jazz has passed out.
No, I'm here. It's just a camera. Yeah, I'm here, mate.
They must hear that and they must go, hang on, Moyes, we're better than this. Do you really believe in us that little that you think like we've got to play 5 at the back against this 2-bob outfit? Let us go out and play football. And they must be, they look like they're getting incredibly frustrated with it all, to be perfectly honest, mate. So I just think we've got to instill a bit of confidence in the team again. We've got to set up with a bit more confidence and a bit more intent. Football's about momentum, mate. The idea is you get on top of games and you take games to teams and you beat them down and you score goals and you bury teams. You know, we come out and we just go on, have the ball. Like tonight, I can't remember what the stat was, but you know, we're 20 minutes into the game. We've had like 35% possession at home to a second string Blackburn side. It's just madness, mate.
I agree with Frankie. He's not a one-season wonder, and I think Ginger probably agrees. He's a good player, mate. He's a good player, but but he needs to improve on his finishing. You can't keep hitting the post, and you know when he's on the halfway line or you know that goal, like just tripping over, and it's happening too often, mate. You're missing easy chances and things like that. And we have owners who lose the plot. To be fair, the owners have completely vanished from the media, both of you. We don't know where they are. They're alive. Have they joined Tesla on the moon, on the Mars experiment? We don't know where they are, which is kind of good. I even wonder, do they go to the games? I don't think so. Karen Brady was going to join that Birmingham revolution, and then nothing happened because I think that deal fell through. But with Karen Brady, winter looming, that stupid show's going to be coming again. Oh my God, it's getting worse and worse every year. And then two of them married each other.
I thought you was going to go on there, Jazz, on The Apprentice.
I tell you what, the least thing I am in life is a salesman. You must be joking. No way. Sales guy, no. That is the last thing I ever do save my fucking life. Mascot is a Peter. So, hang on a minute. So, the Mascot package, Frankie, quickly, what do you get? I mean,
not a lot. Not a lot, unfortunately. I was quite surprised. Look, I'm not knocking it. He had a lovely, wonderful time. You know, he turns up. You only get one parent who can go with the child. You get taken through. They have some photographs done. You get told the day before that you have to purchase a kit that doesn't have the sponsor on it because children are not allowed to be seen with a gambling company on the front.
That was a weird one for me, Ginger. I thought they should have given the little ones that shirt. That's weird.
I thought I was going to ask Frankie that. Do they supply it or do they make it?
No, you have to buy it. And they're quite clever. You've got to meet at the below or the sorry, you got to meet you got to meet below the club shop. So you're at the club shop, they turn around to you and go, you have to wear the full kit. We're not supplying you with one. So basically you got to go and buy one. It's a great way of selling more shirts from the club shop. As part of the package, which costs.
It's so sad. It's so sad.
375 quid.
This is a fan, Junior Frankie, that's going to be hopefully going to be paying you the club for years, and you are doing this little market. It is disgusting, mate. Absolutely.
No, it's not right. The kid should have got a kit. But whatever, you know, it's not included. That is what it is. So they get taken out to see the pitch. They then go back inside. They have some photographs. They then get given a little lunch pack, which has got a roll in it, a packet of crisps and whatnot. They then get to do a training session out on the pitch, but it's on the sidelines. It's not actually on the pitch itself. It's on the side of the pitch.
On the carpet.
Yeah, on the carpet. Yeah. They then get bought.
You don't want to get them hurt, Ginge. You don't want to hurt the kids. Carpet soft.
That's it. You then get to hand one item to somebody who takes it into. So the parents are allowed zero contact with players. Parents are not allowed to meet. You don't see any of them. Because they said parents are worse than the kids for asking to get things signed
who cares? Who cares? Who cares?
Parents are allowed zero. Yep. You basically get what's called a hot room. So you get put in this hot room where the parents are put in, you're shut in that room, you're not allowed to wander around, and you're not allowed any contact with any of the players. So that's where the parents go. The kids then get walked around. They don't get to see any of the players either. I asked the boy, you know, did you speak to any of the players? He gave a fist bump to one of them as he was going out on the pitch, but that's about it. An item gets taken into the changing room. The kids are not allowed in the changing room. So an item gets taken into the changing room to get signed. That's then brought out. I remember I went back when we played Coventry in a League Cup game. Must have been 2000s, early 2000s. I remember we was walked into the dressing room. You got to say hello to all the players in the dressing room. None of that no more. You're not allowed anywhere near the dressing room. And then obviously
did the kids hold a player's hands as they go into the pitch?
Then they hold a player's hand as they walk out on the pitch. They walk.
Do they
out,
get
they
to choose a player?
No. Well, you write down who your favourite player is on the form, but then you obviously get put with who you get put with when you get there. You go run out on the pitch, Bubbles is on, you have a photograph, then they all run in, and then they get escorted back to the parent wherever they're seating in the ground. So that was that. So yeah, I mean, look, he loved it. Amazing experience. Very, very thankful that he got the opportunity to do it and all of that. You know, was it still that, what I've been saying, I don't think we've ever been more detached from the players. I don't think we've ever been this distant from them, and it was apparent again today.
Well, I think that's true, but I think for the little one, that'll be a huge memory for him. He won't care about we won a lot. No. He won't care. Unfortunate, but no, that's a great. I never did it, and listen, mate, Frankie, heads up, mate. That's a great thing you've done for little one, and that's there. Listen. That's brilliant.
I know where I'm going as soon as we get off the stream, chaps. I'm going to what's in the chat. We couldn't have picked a better time to wrap it up.
I don't know. I can't keep.
Jazz ain't even seen it.
Don't leave me alone. I got emails. And listen, all right, listen, mate.
You have to put it on the screen as well.
Me, I'm not. You know, I've told them so many times. They're like, "No, Jazz, Frankie, Ginny, we're so hot." All right, we'll sort out next time. Yeah, come on next time. I know you're there. Free, never. It's never free. Stop being naughty. But let me, you naughty girls. But listen, I love you following us. Subscribe. Get all the.
Maybe they can sponsor us, Jazz.
That's it.
Couple of messages, and then we're going to give our gents.
They can make you in the Olympic
David Kelly. Oh no, mate! David Kelly was a no.
Who did you get to meet tonight, mate? Who were the players you got to have a chat with?
First of all, it was Martin Allen. So obviously, told him a bit about Berkshire, and I used to get tickets. Well, a couple of tickets from his dad in 89, 90 and watched his debut live at the ground, which is probably my second home game ever. I met his mum, grandma. I get around a lot, you know. My dad used to have a business in Berkshire. We kind of, and then that's why he's like, I better sit down here. Because what it is, Frankie, I get a kick out because I know my fucking stuff. Yeah, I'm not going to even shy about it. Because they meet me, go, who the fuck is this? Like, what the fuck? And then when I go, whoa, even Tony's like, shit. And Tony Gell, what I loved and made him like not emotional, but like what I love the old players, mate. And Tony's like, fucking thanks for talking to me. Like, thank you for coming up to me and like. I'm like, shit, man, Tone, don't do. I didn't sound like, bloody hell, mate. Because I'm that kind of a stat nut. I go, Tony, that game, you did that from Fulham. I'm going to that much detail. I go, you know, I went to buy like a second-hand TV for my son at uni from that road and is worth. And he goes, yeah, Jazz, I wish I fucking bought a house on that road. It's like, you know, I'm fucking mad. Mark Robson, Kevin Keane. The only one. I think Kenny Brown, I left him alone because I like 5'6", mate. Bloody hell.
Moncur was there, mate, wasn't he? But we didn't talk to him.
I've met him before, yeah. I met Monkey before, and I've met one or two of the others. But
I'd love a John Moncur character around us right now, mate. Dying breed, unfortunately. But
because they can put your foot in and distribute the ball as well, both.
He came out of the stadium once, and he stopped for like a quick minute interview with Nicky and that on West Ham Fan TV. We managed to see him walk past us, and what a quality geezer he was. And John, you mentioned Kenny Brown as well. He was quality. I was fortunate to play against him for the Isla Celeb charity match back in 2019, I think it was. And what a guy! I spoke to a lot of them players before the game in the Players' Lounge, and I was sort of like in awe. I'm standing outside the circle of Julian Dix, Lomas, Kenny Brown, Gabardon, and I'm standing there as if I'm supposed to be with them and I'm their mate, and they're talking all about the little training ground banter they had and in the dressing room banter, and I'm just sitting there like nodding my head, yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Quality.
Frankie and Martin Allen got funny. Obviously, mentioned another show. Funny story about the Wimbledon under 10 men on the Lou Macari League Cup. We beat them in extra time. Hit the goal on the volley. Parents, yeah, we'll mention that story another time. That was a great performance from Martin. Jimmy Neighbour, God bless him, is no longer with us. Rest in peace, my man. Famous for usually a substitute, but in the 1981 semi-final at Villa Park against Liverpool, which I know we lost, I think he got the corner that we scored a goal from, I think. Top of my head, John, if I'm right, let me know, mate. Mike, yes, let Mike's at me. Shirt sponsors for, listen, well, I don't know, mate. I'm not really, I mean, Avco for me, I love Avco and stuff like that. And
I thought he was on about what was up on the screen a little while ago.
Listen, mate, this is West Ham, mate. Chris Wilde. No, with respect. No, nobly.
Where is he nowadays, Chris Wilder?
He's a manager of a club who are doing okay, but no. He's not West Ham DNA. I keep telling people, you can take the piss, everyone. It's a special club with special DNA, and I like the idea of Mourinho. I like the idea of Poch, and it's just we're just waiting for. Frank, we are on the cusp of something. If we can get Kotensky's wealth like validated, how much has he really got when he becomes number one and really says what he wants to do, and Newcastle, I know what they're going to do. We are
a bit of ambition at the moment and a little bit more backing and
on that edge
who wants to win. We could do something and we could get that thing that we all crave so much, is that little bit of glory. But it needs someone to have the bottle and the minerals to go out there and go, we're going to roll the dice. Not a Pellegrini roll of the dice. Don't let that be fooled that was the next level, because he was semi-retired in China, never achieved anything in his career apart from losing the league title to Leicester when he was Man City manager. That's how good he was. But I'm talking about a proper in their prime manager. Go and make it happen, and West Ham could actually do something that would give us all something to cheer about. But
I just want to say one thing: if you've got money and you go into football, you're fucking mad. Absolutely, it's the most stupid business industry. But why you go into it, Abramovich and Barney, you make your name, you get commercially known in the world to help you other deals. And then you make your money at the end when you flog it. So it's mainly to, we know you are. Oh, that's what it's about more than business. No, not for that. We're late because we're mad. We love West Ham. Two of us were at the game. We just come back. But you are a legend. And let us know where you're from, Far East, whatever. Neil Orr was injury prone. We bought him from Morton. We bought Neil Orr from Morton as a utility player in 83, 82, 84. He hardly played any injured, but in 85, 86, he played a lot of games. And I got one of those boys of Frankie, I wish I was that boys. So I was watching it the other day, Boys of 86 on DVD at Upton Park. Apart from Alan Dickens and Mark Ward, for obvious reasons, they're all there. And I think, Gas Panel, they all got the tables there, and it's hosted by, Tony Gailey, Cotty, a couple of the other famous people celebrating that season. So I wish I did attend a wedding in that same venue, Upton Park. That's my kind of, claim to fame. But John, that's it. Jeff Pike was there, Frankie, when I came in, and I thought I'd chat to him later, then I didn't see him again.
Gotcha.
So Jeff Pike was there. I would have spoken to him about that header against Man United, 85-86 FA Cup replay, Old Trafford. The header's outside the penalty area, and Pikey's not that big, but he had some great goals. So So Neil Orr, but it's only one season, John. Just to summarize what you're saying, only saw him one season. He got injured. Mourinho Never say that. Never say that unrealistic. Everything is possible in life if you can sell the idea. No, I can say something about Southgate, but I am not really allowed to. Mourinho. What?
Yeah, he's right, mate. He's right. We should believe that we can go and make, because we are a big club.
Oh, you're from North Wales. Get in there, mate. Get in there. Is it raining? Let me know. No, only joking. Oh, John, I wish. Listen, you are my dad's age, and Frankie's. I'm jealous, mate. I am jealous. Frankie, you jealous of your dad? I am proper jealous of my dad.
Massively jealous. They had the good days. They had the good old days. Not just the actual winning things, and not just seeing the caliber of players that they did, but the atmosphere, the terraces, just everything about it. What times it would have been to been around then and supported West Ham then. It's a shame.
Just the way it was.
Ginge, 2 in the morning. 100, 200 people still listening to us. That's nuts, mate. They must like your aftershave or your much or your moustache. I don't know what.
Well, hopefully I'll start getting some subscribers back, mate. Because when I went on my little Moyes out rants, I lost all my subscribers. Everyone unsubscribed from me. So hopefully they'll all come back sooner or later.
That is so childish, isn't it? Let a man say what you want, and
of course, mate.
That's
how soft we've gone as a society, mate. That's how soft we've gone as just people, as human beings now. We're so soft. This is terrible, mate. Terrible.
John, tell me one thing. Tony Gale, again, God bless him, said is he goes, if we didn't like a centre half, you nudge him, and then they go into the chicken run. He goes, it never used to come out, half of them. So, with a Dockers.
This is what I liked about yesterday, Jazz. There was a guy who I was having a bit of a spat with on Twitter, and he wasn't agreeing with nothing, and we was properly, going at each other a little bit.
Well, we met a few of these, but we can't mention any names. We saw a couple of them. We can't say any.
But it was all in the right jest, and he tweeted me afterwards in DMs. He put, "Hey, just wanted to say, mate, there's far too much anger on Twitter, so I truly appreciate you actually carrying on a conversation rather than just the usual aggression out there. I'll buy you a pint next game I come back for." That's how it should be. Why can't you disagree on something? Why can't you both have a different opinion? Why can't you, both make your points, have a heated debate about it, but still be West Ham fans and family afterwards, and just say, do you know what, mate, I understand, and we're not going to agree on that, but that's fine. I don't see why all this aggression and falling out of each other. I don't understand it.
Listen, when I put those Moyes videos,
right,
I don't reply to it. There's been a couple of Moyes videos I saw out there. He goes, yeah, this, that, and then it's just bitter people. It's people who are bitter, thinking we're doing it for. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about, mate? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or because people are bored and they see something they don't agree with, and they feel like they have to reply to it and try and
the problem is, mate, it's too easy to have an aggressive reply when you're hiding behind a fake Twitter profile, a fake picture.
Well, the guy who done that funny video, like he goes, you put all these managers, you go anonymous something. I'm like, oh, here we go. And I was, my nature, I was going to do something really, but then I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. And that works well for me. That works well for me. Ignoring it works really well for me, because then I don't get into a TikTok or one message. It's going to get nasty, and I'll just like move on, and I don't. Yeah, anonymous.
That's like back in the day, pre-internet days.
I probably know who they are, but that's me getting to. I probably know who they are. Like, yeah, I just say no. I'll say. Listen, I mean, Frankie knows the story or something. He probably doesn't, but the channel just started, and it's like, and then suddenly, 2-3 shows went fucking through the roof. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, whatever. Then this comment comes in from one of our favorite friends who I know. Listen, face to face, lovely guy. Didn't think we had an issue. Like, whoa, mate, I would never do that to anyone I know. Like, it's like me. You mean, what the hell? And then. And I'm like, and I said, listen, mate. I said, when you said something like, when you were against Moyes, I never said something to you, and now it's the other way around. What? And then another comment, and I don't get bad. I'm talking about 3 comments in all the years I've been doing something, yeah. And this comment comes in saying you're a very negative channel, this, that. When I looked into the profile. The profile was only started a month ago, and it's subscribed to its own channel, which gave it away. So I'm like, hello, mate, you're right. I hope you do. Well, and then blocked him. I'm like, you. At least when you're doing something like that, cover your tracks. It's like Frankie doing a little funny little name saying Pigsy the Great, and then I look into and he's subscribed to his own channel. I'm like, oh my god!
But not only that, the channel is subscribed to him.
No, but I knew the reputation of this person from all the people I know, and they said, and I stopped a couple of fights in the past because of this, saying, leave him alone. I know.
At the end of the day, mate, a lot of people have dug us out. I had a lot of unsubscribers, unfollowers, and everything else because of negativity. But it's not, mate. I come on here, I tell it how it is. I love West Ham United. I'll never stop. And some people yesterday, when I said about Moyes stuff and all that, oh, you must be a Tottenham fan, mate. I've got West Ham tattooed on my arm. I go to every single game. I love West Ham. I was there at Colchester on a Tuesday night. I was there at Rotherham when we got relegated. I was there through the bad times of recent years. And I'm always there, mate. At the end of the day, I love West Ham. I'm more West Ham than anybody could imagine. You know, bleed claret and blue.
I'm from your dad as well, mate. Yeah, I know that.
Family, we're all West Ham and always will be West Ham. It's just that, you know, just because you see something and you say, look, you know, we've seen this before. We've been around the block. We've seen how managers end up like this. We've seen it coming. Do you know what I mean? We've seen it time and time again.
The only thing with me and Frankie Moyes was like, he didn't start the job, and I'm like, give him a chance, and he's like, yeah. So that was the only thing then. Now I was like, fuck off.
But even that was fine. Do you know what I mean? You wanted give Moyes the chance.
Give him a chance, yeah.
And you was proven right to give him the chance.
I mean, Dom, listen, I met Dom's like, Jazz shook my hand. He goes, Jazz, fuck, you know, mate, you're all right. I'm like, I said, I don't want no thanks. I'm just like, bloody my fucking gob out. I don't want no fucking Victorian Cross medal. Equally, when I'm wrong, I ain't as fucking hell, mate. Just a chat show, have a bit of heart, bit of fucking passion, and go for it, really. We're not one of those. But the biggest thing is that one of my I don't know him, but DT's back, mate. DT's back. Oh my god, he's come back yesterday. I was just on my sofa pissing about. He just come out where he come out from, isn't he? DT TV, 250k views, having a go at little AF. Well, fucking load of fucking little tosh anyway. Right, question for you.
He's back on the social, is he?
Through his own channel.
That Pranay is Blackburn fan, just come in, still feeling high from beating you guys. I have an amazing rest of the season. Do you guys know the official attendance? I believe we sold 35,000 for tonight.
That's a thing, because top tiers are fairly empty, weren't they, mate?
Yeah, Blackburn had 2,000. I think we had 35 total, so that would probably include the 2,000 Blackburn fans. So we probably had 33 odd thousand. I think in the ground, mate, was probably a little bit less than that. I'd probably say like 28, 29. It wasn't great from us, mate, but that's just a sign of the poor football that we're having to watch at the moment, mate. But congratulations, big win for you boys, fully deserved.
Funny, are the Indian chicken guys, are they still your owners, or they're gone? The chicken boys, like chicken poultry guys from India owning Blackburn, weren't they? Yeah, do you remember? Yeah, little funny thing. Yeah. Joe's coming, Joe.
What do you reckon? So they had such a poor home. It's everything. Poor atmosphere.
Everything. Joe, they don't sell fish fingers anymore. And I love, me and Frankie love fish fingers, a bit of ketchup, bit of tart sauce, and love it, mate. Ginger's like, what the fuck's going on?
I'm thinking, hold up a minute, I had fish fingers the other day.
Right, again, getting off stream. I used to be Heinz all the time. So one of my mates goes, yeah, Jazz, you got to try Crossum Blackwell. What do they call Crossum Blackwell? What's the name?
Yeah.
And they're not bad. I'm like,
who's geezer?
Right, next show. Yes or no?
Yeah, I'm all over the Snickers, mate. I like the Snickers. No, I don't like a crunchy.
No. That's cannibalism, that is, Jazz.
I'm all right with a Boost. Yeah. Not my favourite, but I'm all right. I like a Whisper. Whisper's a good one. I love a picnic. Picnic's good.
Mrs. into this, like, I got by.
Nah, I'm not about the Milky Bar.
She's.
Hey, what? Where are you a convenience store or something?
You will come to the West Ham Jazz Bar. We got full of crisp, fucking everything, mate.
Oh dear, that was the most entertaining thing I've seen so far this evening, mate.
No,
he's just pulling that chocolate bar.
Oh, they are. Yeah, the Renkies. Mate, you got a very Indian sounding game. Are you ready for the India-England T20 World Cup game in Australia tomorrow, mate? Pakistan in the final.
Thingy, didn't we, round us tonight in the Arnold Hills Lounge? We had the Australian wheelchair basketball team or whatever it was.
Carl, I've got the rum and raisin in the car. I don't know why I went to the petrol station, picked my daughter up from Warwick. I ain't gonna tell you what that it's extortionate. You don't try to buy anything with petrol station. My
Yeah,
goodness,
big money, mate.
rum and raisin can't beat a Yorkie. Right, lads. Final comments, and then we close off. Give your life back to you.
Moyes out.
And it's bad, isn't it, Frank? Oh my, Frank is bad. It's bad. It's bad in every way possible. Right, Moyes out. When?
Now.
No, when will it happen? You think?
Oh, when will it happen? It will
Oh,
happen
knowing our
after
bold.
Christmas. After Christmas.
Yeah.
Boxing Day, like I said.
Yeah.
When it's like, and Ginger, the reason I said that is because then there's no money, so there's no chance for him to spend it.
But if the board are going to do that, and they know they're going to do that, for the greater of the club, they need to do it now because of where we've got this like mini break, as you like, mini pre-season all over again. The manager can come in and bed his authority and bed his style of play in this month's worth of gap that we've got. Granted, we're not going to have our full squad. No one is. But we're going to have a majority of our squad. Because I don't, if I'm right, I think there's only, a quarter of our players that are actually going to be on the international duty, if that. So I think for the greater of our club, the owners have got to do something now.
Ethan, Jesus, mate, Poch will fucking turn Skamaka into Harry Kane, mate. You don't worry about that, mate. We've got all the players. You don't worry about that, son. 180 million. Don't worry about that, mate. Epping, where you been, Epic? Epic hashtag wakes up. What you got? Where you been, mate? Well, good to see you anyway. I know, mate. I know you regulars have been on marching to Parliament. Wait, that climate girl went inside. Get in there, mate. The lady's crying on your Twitter.
We need to end this stream before it goes down the pan here. You're going to end up banned.
I know. Anyway, thanks everyone, both of you especially. Couldn't have done it without you. I do like to hear myself, you know that. But anyway, I do like you guys. But yeah, let's get someone in. And yeah, even the Bee Gees, brilliant. ABBA or someone like that would be brilliant.
I see a funny comment earlier that made me crack up. As I was talking, someone put Radio Gaga. And I looked up just as I finished talking. I was wetting myself inside.
Well, hopefully, maybe in 1 or 2 days, the Ginge will get your link up on there for what you're trying to raise money for, I'll give you time.
I'll give you updated pictures, Jez. Don't worry about that. I have to keep shaving it every two days. It's doing my nutting.
Yeah, especially if you haven't done it. So, yeah, it's different and everything. But again, thank you. Frankie, loved it. Great day today, mate.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Mate. Top day seeing you, mate. And look forward to the next time.
Yeah. God bless you. Take care, everyone, and we'll catch up soon. And take care.
Bye.
Bye.